Okay, good evening. Thank you very much for joining us today. It's a lovely, lovely Friday evening, special day, March 20. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Thanks for being here. While we're listening to the music and dancing, I was dancing before I came on camera. I'm just thinking about the best place to start. So today we're discussing matters arising. So no specific topic. That means we can go anywhere. Before getting into all of that, there are some things I'll just play. Since it's partly party, not exactly, but partly party. So I was watching some videos earlier today, and I was like, let me share some of those videos. Just funny stuff. The person who did the video did not intend. I'm not sure he intended to make people laugh, but the man is funny. And once you start hearing his voice, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's quite funny. And since today we're having matters arising, but we're also having a sort of a party, and we can't play music because of YouTube. We played music already, but going forward, we're not going to play until we want to play our anthems. Anyway, we can listen to somebody that makes us laugh. Okay? Before I get into that, please let me thank everybody on TikTok for getting us to 30k likes. This is actually quite nice. Thank you very much. Thank you for the 30k likes, but please don't stop our tapping, and also click on the heart icon here. Drop a heart, drop a gift. Let's push the life to the FYP together. For those of us joining us on YouTube and Facebook, please like and share. If you're on Twitter, please like and repost. So we'll get to the news and stuff later, but before we do all of that, let's listen to some interesting stuff from this gentleman, whose name I will not mention.
So who brought you down here?
A friend.
Who is a friend?
Please, who brought this sister here?
A friend. Are you the friend?
Yes, sir.
Which kind of friend?
She's my friend.
I say, which kind of friend? This is my friend. Is it a friend indeed? Or a friend for marriage?
A friend for marriage.
Make kutagonge now. Also, my friend, do you want him to marry you?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Your marriage has started. Your marriage has started. Your marriage has started. Nobody can separate you. No father can separate you. No mother can separate you. So
I find Ndaboski very funny. Odumeje, I find him funny, and I hope you find it funny as well. But I just saw some of his videos. I said, let me play. But there are a few more that I want to play. Enjoy.
When I saw the manifestation, your deliverance on the man that came from UK, so he directed me here. So through him, and I also watch you on.
Which man is that?
A friend to my dad. The man that he delivered that came from UK. So he directed.
Okay,
me
you
here.
mean the man that came from UK that broke his hand?
Yeah.
The prophet hearing him.
I saw when you delivered him on YouTube, so I saw everything.
you saw everything.
Yeah,
and you people know the man.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Are you a graduate?
Yes, sir. I'm a graduate. So
you're a graduate?
Yes, sir.
You're a graduate?
Yes, sir.
Which school?
Canada Zikwe University.
Nanda Zikiwe.
Yes, sir.
University.
Yes, sir.
Kedebody.
Oka.
Okay, Oka University.
Yes, sir.
Nanda Zikiwe. Which course are you doing there?
I studied political science.
You study political
science. Political science. Political science.
That means it look like poetry. Political science. What are you? Why do you join political science? You're a younger man and a handsome guy. Why do you join the political science?
I joined it because of I love the philosophy, the aspect of it, and the
You love
execution.
what? Where you entered? You say philosophy. What is philosophy?
That's love of wisdom. That's love of wisdom.
Love of what?
Wisdom. That's philosophy.
Okay,
So,
philosophy be wisdom.
love of wisdom. Yes, sir.
Philosophy.
Yeah. So I love the philosophical part of it, and the
But I thought there's a course they call philosophy.
yes, sir. If you are studying political science, you have to study philosophy.
Okay, after you will study philosophy later.
You're on your level, you have to study philosophy. You have to study philosophy.
Which level are you now?
I'm a graduate. I've graduated.
Have you studied philosophy?
I studied it during my 100 level.
Okay, you have already studied philosophy.
100 level.
You have 100 level.
Yeah.
I have something to tell you.
Sorry, this advert is not making things. Sorry, 1 second. Let the advert play, and we'll continue. So, if you're here, you study philosophy or political science, ultimately has something interesting for you this evening. Don't ask me why I'm playing this. It's a party.
And now you are into that political.
I left it, but I'm doing something else. I'm into content creation, so I'm creating
coming,
content.
Oga. You say you are into something else. You started with political science, and after political science, you bring what you call philosophy. From philosophy to wisdom. Now there's another one a corner. I say I started something else. What is something else?
Content
There's
creation.
another one you call now. Which one?
Content creation.
Eh?
Content creation.
Who is this man? What do you mean by content creation?
Someone that creates content online.
Brother to bloggers.
I'm coming.
Okay, sir.
Okay, you are a pastor.
Yes, sir.
So I have my own niche.
You have your own
Niche.
Okay, are you sure? I'm okay now. Make it an ego. Yeah, what do you mean by ish? I'm okay now. Make ish. That is means J3 ish. Something that ish. What do you say? Said what now?
No, in content you have to have your own niche. It's either you are a
You
comedian.
have to have their own what?
Niche. There are departments in content. It's either you are a comedian or you're a vlog.
Or you
you're a
have a
blogger.
niche.
Yes, that's niche. You have to specialize on something. So as a pastor, your own niche is to preach gospel.
Look at this guy. Prepare. You prepare yourself to come here. And then but who say? They say, as a pastor, your niece is what? How can you explain my niece? Niece. You are just trying to make yourself to become more Laducia. That is means you are too higher Laducia in education.
And all of
And you regret it now.
Yes, sir.
You are regret.
Yes, sir.
Only I'm supposed to join the politics.
exactly. Yes, sir.
That's what they know. My politics in Nigeria, Bundi nebu billboard. Nda ya bolu wana na election. Ebu billboard na boy ya na political science. Nda na ego chawana kopia. Enyego kwa ibu bala board e boso.
Exactly.
Everyone onye ba political science na Nigeria. Iyo na graduate ebu kesi amu ibu bara boss aboso. Grab it, snatch it, bring it to me. All you have a political science. Education in Nigeria is like a suicide mission. A whole graduate, political, and a man that studied wisdom, philosophy. Only suppose even the garden and yet advice.
Exactly.
Actually,
So once you study political science and philosophy, now you're supposed to be advising the book. This man is something else. But do you mind if we listen to like one or two more, like before we get serious? That was fun. Mumbo.
love
Hey, love na like it. Love kare.
Post it on my WhatsApp status.
Jesus.
And then share yourself. Even in Kego with the flavor high forces.
High
The
forces.
world ready, you know? Yes. You ain't the level of the major, my guy. You
are posting me.
I love, and they post you well.
Jesus.
Very, very well.
Where do you stay?
I live in Enugu.
You live in Enugu?
Yes.
And you are watching me there?
I watch you very well. I came back because of this issue.
Oh my God.
But I'm a graduate. Good.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Which university?
ABSU. Abia State University.
Ansukwa.
ABSU. Ibiakwa.
No.
Amange.
Is it Ansu? What do you Ansu?
Abia State University.
Okay, Abia State
University.
Abia State University. Abia. Oya ba Ansu.
Abia ABSU.
Amsu.
ABSU.
A.
B.
B.
Yes. SU.
Okay, SU. State
University.
Okay, State University.
Yes, sir.
Was there Asu?
And now I'm there like in medical courses.
Are you?
Yes, sir.
Which course is that?
Of course, pharmaceutical biochemistry. Pharmaceutical biochemistry.
Pharmaceutical. That is medicine area.
Yes, sir.
You are welcome to me.
Thank you. Sir.
When I came back from work, in the process of eating, so I swallowed bone.
You swallow bone.
Yeah. So as I'm talking to you now, one is here.
You swallow bone.
Yeah. So I went to pharmacist and they gave me castor oil, which I took. So after taking the castor oil, it became worse. Had to move from here. Sometimes it come down here. Sometimes it will come up here.
You eat.
This one was still here.
You swallow bone.
Yes. I don't know how it happened, but I was eating.
What do you mean by you swallow bone?
When I was eating, I don't know how it happened. So the thing happened.
Which kind of food is that?
I was eating a bono soup there.
You don't know the one is bitter leaf and bone. How?
Papa, I don't know how it happened. I just don't know.
What is Papa? I say you eat bone. What do you swallow bone for?
I don't know how it happened. I don't know.
There is no meat in that food or what?
No, fish is there, meat is there.
Fish is there, meat is there.
Yeah.
So why do you eat bone?
As you know.
I don't understand.
I don't know. So
Are you a dog that leave the meat and begin to eat bone?
So I don't know.
Is it a dog you put a meat for and the person will begin to eat bone?
Exactly, sir.
You saw food and the fish and meat. You went and swallowed bone. I say one is this side, one is this side.
How many bones?
How many bone?
They had one is here, one is still here, hanging up here. So I don't know how
Is it a twin spoon? Which kind of bone is
I
that?
don't know how it happened. I don't know what happened, Daddy. I don't know. You said it was.
I don't understand why you people. How can you begin to eat bone? One is here, one is here. So what is it doing you now? Your neck?
It's hanging here. I can't even swallow.
You can't swallow something.
Even to put on my bed. One is here disturbing me. Can't even tie my belt properly.
Yeah, look, this is not a good bone. Yeah, demonic bone.
Exactly, sir. Demonic bone.
We shall deliver him.
Thank you, Father.
By the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Yeah, the spiritual. Because a man cannot yet sit in a knee. As or then a knee.
Yeah, we have no go.
Bitter leave the chana knee. You knock at a table.
As a Jimmy.
You start to eat bone and leave the meat. Something is wrong somewhere.
Exactly.
Are you understand me?
Yes, sir.
Am I sure you get it?
Exactly, sir.
Praise the Lord. It needs to be questioned. Spiritual case. Osiniana Eliano, I know the near. It went to Ibo, which I deliver you.
Thank you.
When I came back from.
Is anybody here that's eating demonic bone? Oh boy. I mean, I hope you enjoy yourselves. We're going to get into something serious very soon, but I wanted to, to start, on a funny, maybe one or two more, I promise. And then we can move on to serious stuff. Take a listen to this one.
What is it? What's happening?
My problem.
Uh-huh.
What my side? What my side?
Is there?
Somebody want to kill me for nothing.
Somebody want to kill you for nothing. It's okay. I will deliver you. You're stammerer. So let's watch us. Before you take us for 2 hours and 3 hours. Mbebebe. Mbem. What is it? What's happening?
My problem.
Uh-huh.
What my side? What my side?
Is there?
Somebody want to kill me for nothing.
Somebody want to kill you for nothing. It's okay. I will deliver you. You're stammerer. So let's watch us. Before you take us for 2 hours and 3 hours. Mbebebe. Mbem. You're welcome to the great house of God. Who is the first son?
It's him.
Are you the first son?
That's nature. Nature don't make me first son now. I don't kill myself. I don't know.
He said the word.
Now me be first son. Man just dey cool.
Okay, they make you the first son.
It don't happen. Don't be me to myself now.
Give us wahala tomorrow.
Give you people wahala.
I can see.
Know me now.
They say you are what?
I be person where they give money if you know me well.
If it's the person where they give people money,
Confirm.
Do they give people money?
Yes, from the Most High.
From the Most High.
Yes, from God.
From the Most High.
Yeah.
You are giving people money. Hey.
Chele, I'm gonna give. Oh, nonsense. This is not be nonsense now. Everybody know now.
Madam, you and your son, who is mad? I asking you and your son, who is mad?
He's the one now.
He's one mad. Your son is saying is not mad.
Her last born, everybody behave nonchalant to her, but me, I'll just be on myself, like, they'll be like, this bro, like, you're feeling so bad, like, feel me? If you like, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, because the way I talk is very expressive.
Yeah,
if you can really
it's very expensive.
Not expensive, expressive. Like,
okay, explosive, not expensive. Okay, it is me that got off track. Explosive. Okay.
So looking at me barefootedly, like looking at me on a normal base, I don't get nuts.
You don't get what?
Nuts. N-U-T-S.
You don't get
like,
nuts. Okay, you're not get...
like being on cuckoo, like gaga, cuckoo, gaga. Yeah, I'm not doing like that. But on the basis of her saying that I'm fighting, I don't fight, I know they make trouble. I'm always on my elf, like, sorry, not elf, like, sorry. I'm always on myself.
Now, wow.
Don't put mic in my mouth. I want to swallow mic. I'm not going to swallow mic. Just keep
okay.
You understand? So I don't talk my may not try him again. Brother, put on for your mouth.
It's okay. May the Lord, I pray for you, for peace, in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Enwe ingredients I have put in the photo carry ibia. Ono le eziokwu. Ono le eziokwu.
Eziokwu.
Ono le eziokwu.
Eziokwu.
Enwe ya na akpọ Don Jazzy Burger. Okwenwe Don Jazzy Burger. Onwe ve Don Jazzy na adebe eme nke snacks ya. All Jazzy Burger. Jazzy Burger or Don Jazzy Burger. Are you understand me?
Yes, sir.
All these things, a lot of people are doing burger. Mana burger nkia. Mwe Jazzy. You understand me? Burger nkia mwe gene Jazzy. And a bug and canwell and a mere order. Understand me? And it touch a bug here, pay not a pay in your mother.
For where?
Or you can put on jazzy bugger because somewhere jazzy.
Hey.
Amen.
Amen.
What is what's happening?
There were problems. What am I talking about? My side. Who actually on my side?
Is there?
Somebody want to kill me for nothing.
Somebody want to kill you for nothing. It's okay, I will deliver your stamina. So let's watch us. Before you take us for 2 hours and 3 hours. Mbebebe. Mbem bem 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 bem.
All right. That's enough of Odumeje to last year for a bit. But I hope you enjoyed it. Mbem bem bem. Is that guy a comedian? Because, I mean, to be honest, comedy also has something good that can do for a person body. By the time you hear bam bam bam, you'll be laughing now. Small time, you don't heal. You're feeling a lot better. All right, let's move away from Odumeje now and get to what we want to discuss today. I'm going to begin with the interview I spoke about the other day. And I want to just play you some excerpts from the interview. Koti is this young lady who interviews musicians, and she did a fantastic documentary on Ashake, and she released it, I think, 2 days ago, thereabout, and it's brilliant. And I want to advise that you find time to watch this on YouTube. Just look for Koti, that's Korty, and Ashake. It's actually quite nice, and I think I'm very sure you're going to enjoy, that work. It's brilliant, very well done. I'm just going to play you some excerpts from that video before we get on to other things today. Thank you very much for joining us. Excuse me. Please, if you're on TikTok, kindly power tap. Also click on the heart icon up here. Drop a heart me, drop gifts. Let's try and push the live to the FYP together. And if you're on YouTube and on Facebook, we're glad you're here. Please like the live and also share. Thank you very much. Mr. Rotimi Fashion on YouTube, thank you very much for your comment. Thank you, I really appreciate it. All right, so let's listen to some excerpts from that documentary on Ashake. Take a listen, please.
Why do you like money so much?
Because more like freedom.
I might have a war with it. I might have a war with it. But I know I'm built to win. But I know I'm built to win.
Ẹ̀kan lèèyàn lè gbé ayé, o ò lè tún ayé gbé. Mo wò ó pé gbogbo ohun tó bá fẹ́ ṣe ní ayé, ẹ̀kan ló lè ṣe.
Ṣàdúrà dandan lórúkọ bàbá tó bí ọlọ́mọ ikú wa ẹ̀ délé kò bá ẹ.
Very stubborn boy.
Mo kàn burú pé ibi tí mò ń lọ ni mò ń lọ. Kò dẹ̀ sí nǹkan kan tẹ́nibọ̀dì lè sọ.
Ojúmọ́ tí mo.
When I think of the artist that I know he can be, he will be somebody that is remembered forever. And I think we've already done that.
Being real is free. I'm gonna miss it, man. I'm a little dog. wọn tó wà lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Dáadáa náà fún bẹ́ẹ̀ àtúntò ni. Gbogbo ayé tó sọ. Ó bẹ̀rù.
Ẹ̀rù bá mi.
Ṣé kí ẹ sọ?
Don't worry. Just for you. How much can I give?
Because nǹkan tó sọ yìí ó deep gan-an.
You have a babe now.
My mom is my babe.
I knew you say music for my mother. I don't.
All right, I find it very interesting. I mean, of course, I just excerpts. I think you should go on YouTube after this session, of course, and also because they've settled their wala, they've settled up, and so I think it's probably just important to let it go without getting too deep in that stuff. By the way, does anybody here know what I'm talking about? If you don't, well, go on their page because I think it's still there. Both of them took each other to the cleaners, and Erino Mokri got in the mix and did his own as well. It was quite interesting, but I'm glad they've stopped it now. All right, I'm thinking whether I should read or not, whether I should read the old exchange or not, but it's a long guinea. So, we're just gonna. Concilium says it was extremely rambunctious. Very rambunctious. Anyway, while that was going on, we know, of course, that President Tinubu was in the UK, and some things went down. And while he was in the UK, Tiwa was also invited by the royal household, right? And a lot of people have criticized her for going. The criticism to me makes absolutely no sense. Apparently, she's not supposed to go to the UK, she's not supposed to honor that invitation because some people's Lord and Savior did not become the president. And it's also quite interesting that while they were complaining about the fact that she went to the UK, right in that place, Bianca Ojukwu was also there with the president, and nobody really thought it was right to criticize her. Not that you should even criticize her, because what do you want to criticize her about, But it looks like if you don't belong in certain ethnic groups, you can easily get picked on. And so for those who were shouting about Tiwa going to that event, I think they need to get their brains checked. There's absolutely nothing wrong in Tiwa being at that event. And someone wrote here, for those of you dragging Tiwa Savage for attending a royal dinner, I genuinely want to understand the logic. Are you saying she should have declined an official invitation tied to a state visit between Nigeria and the British royal family because of what people on the internet will say? Be honest, if you were in a position representing your country on that level, would you ever dream of turning it down? Whatever dream they have, I'm sure everybody will be fine. But while they are dragging her, there's another young guy, his name is Mike, who went online and expressed why he's supporting President Tinubu. I don't know if you've heard about it, but just in case you haven't, please take a listen to Mike.
For the last 3 days, Timothy lọ Windsor, Timon Ball, pẹ̀lú owó mi, pẹ̀lú sweat mi, pẹ̀lú time mi, that some of us can see what you are doing, Mr. Tinubu. I'm not saying you are perfect. In fact, the word perfect is lost in the world, in the country like Nigeria. But I can see that from where you took the power, you are trying. Goodluck Jonathan president, was there no insurgency in Nigeria? Did these people not support him? They took it, they gave it to Buhari. Buhari was president. Did these people not support him? Was there no insurgency? Now, my own person, my Yoruba man, who is actually the fact in my 32 years, any of you can come online and debate me. I have not seen a president do what Tinubu has done in 3 years. All the Nigerians, Kini good luck Jonathan Shefuma. I can tell you the things that Tinubu is doing. He has done that you can visibly see. And I'm not saying the country is perfect. I'm not saying you have no right to be angry. But what is wrong with me supporting my own? Kilode, can see? Especially when I've never seen anybody do what he has done. The man came, he removed fuel subsidy. Now money is being flown to local government. Local government chairman, you people don't even know who they are. Which president in Nigeria has done that? Don't focus up. Let the money flow all the way down. Lord, the local government chairman, presidency because you don't want to do the work. For me, that is an intelligent, interesting initiative. Did you know that before Tinubu became president, foreign exchange for politicians and the elite was different? Elite malogba, alo share owo ni owo kekere, awata kì í ṣe elite, amama share owo ńlá. Tinubu removed all of these things. Only keep it, just like Buhari, Goodluck, Jonathan, and all of them have done. Only call you. Nigerian students are in school. For the last 3 years, I want to go to school, lost school. In fact, no, lost school, ni come on for low. People come out about school fees, go to my bow, come out of jail. I'm not saying that there is no insurgency. I can just see a step in the right direction. Shekima Barukuti, Efekin Shalom Dibo fún olórí burúkú mi. Bí wọ́n ṣe sọ kékin dìbò fún Buhari, Buhari is coming to save me. Mo dìbò fún Buhari mi ò rí yàtọ̀. Kùnà Jonathan o bàbá ò ní bàtà. Mi ò ṣe wọ́n. I can see somebody doing progress and I want to support him. And that is fine now. Everybody has a right to do what they.
It's another video. I'd like you to listen to that as well. I can quickly find it for you. Yeah, this one.
There is nobody that wants to fix our country from where it was that would not have gone through where we have gone through in the last 3 years. That's all I'm saying. And please, if you have a phone, as I'm about to use my computer to ask AI, as you could, as you should have done, because some things might not be clear to you, please go ahead. I have asked ChatGPT, what was the state of Nigeria before Tinubu was president? He said, let me explain to you in the simplest way possible. The Naira was not strong before it was being forced to look strong. That means we made all these years since I have been born, Naira was not strong. Bí ọmọ àlè táwọn òbí ẹ̀ ò lówó lọ́wọ́ tí wọ́n lọ ń yáwó lọ́wọ́ báńkì láti jẹ́ kó rí bí ẹni pé wọ́n lówó lọ́wọ́ ní náírà kí Tinubu tó dé. Wọ́n ń yáwó láti jẹ́ kí náírà rí bí ẹni pé àdá because a kì í export. He said the naira was not strong. It was being forced to look strong. Imagine you earn 100 naira, but you are living like you earn 300 naira. But here, and every president that we have had before Tinubu knew this, but because they wanted to continue to look good, continuation. To outsiders, you look fine, but in reality, you are bleeding. That was Nigeria. For years, the government was keeping the naira at a price that did not match the reality. What did the government do? They stopped defending the fake price. Just like the parent of the boy that I said. We don't have enough money. I think what they say, 100 naira lampa, 300 naira lampa, not much fake life. That means every president that has been, Obasanjo, Goodluck, Jonathan, Yar'Adua, why they were doing fake life for us. The real reality of the country, we were not making enough to be collecting dollar at that rate. Which is why when I see people online say that at what rate did he meet dollars? It was all fake life. In fact, the fact that dollar is coming down now means they are doing the right thing economically. Let's continue. Prices went up not because things suddenly became expensive, but because the illusion ended. Now, the real question is, could this have been avoided only temporarily? If they kept the whole system, dollar would run out imports would stop, things would become even worse. Let me round it up by saying the Naira was already weak. You are just seeing the truth now. The issue is no longer why it happened. The issue is what is being done now to make sure this pain leads somewhere.
I think one of the things that folks have to learn, particularly this emergency lovers of Nigeria, one of the things they have to learn is the idea of freedom. The fact that people are free to choose whatever it is they want to choose, even if the person they want to choose is not competent. That's number one. Number two, they also have to be able to understand the fact that their Lord and Messiah is not worth his weight in reality. Like, we're really talking about politicians that have done this or that. It's just average, and that's being generous. But the most important thing is to understand that whoever you want to vote for, you can choose who you want to vote for, but you can't tell people or try to blackmail them and tell them that they're somehow wrong for not choosing who you prefer, especially when we know that the person you prefer doesn't even really know what they're talking about. And just like Mike is doing right now, there's another young man who is speaking up. I think people are just tired of being gaslighted these days. This guy is Lake Miami, and I hope I find that stuff. For some reason I can't access it at the moment, but he put a statement out about what he's doing as far as politician or supporting the politician that he's supporting is concerned. I'm going to find you that stuff and read it to you very quickly. All right, good. It says, I am not timid like the one who said you were cursing him and he came out to apologize. You know the person he's talking about? Maybe I should play that one before I play Lege Mami, because where he's starting with something that Remo did earlier. I don't know why he did. I mean, I heard his reason for what he did, but I don't know if it was necessary. But I'm sure he knows why he did what he did. But let me see if I can find that video. I'll play you that first and I'll read the guest stuff. So this is Arema Folayan, and I'm actually quite shocked that he will do this. So let's do it this way. I'll play you the video that his first video. Okay, I'll play you the video that trended today. Then I'll play you the reason he's apologizing. Let's do it that way. So let's play. Oh, it doesn't. Let me play what he said originally, and then what is making him trend. Then I'll read Lege Miami's piece. Take a listen to this.
Mo try láti ṣiṣẹ́ rí, mo rí pé ó dà pé mi ni máa padà pa ọ̀gá mi tí mo bá ṣiṣẹ́, so mo kúrò níbi iṣẹ́. So ìgbà tí mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ wò ó le gan ni o, ìtorí mo ti wá ń trade ní dọ́là, so mo rí bí dọ́là àti náírà ṣe ń fluctuate tí mo ń lose constantly. So ìgbà tá à ń sọ yìí, Corolla wà ní 4 million. Mo dẹ̀ predict pé Corolla yẹn máa wọ 9 million. Mo sọ sórí social media. 2 months later, Corolla wọ 8.7 million. Àwọn ará social media wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní chill. Àrẹ̀mú sọ mi ń ṣe Nostradamus. Mi ń ṣe ní soothsayer, mi mọ nǹkan tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́la. Mo kàn mọ owó tí mò ń ṣe particularly. Later, wọ́n jẹ́ ká lọ Dubai mọ́. Aṣíwájú gbéra lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Ó lọ sí Dubai lọ ṣe meeting pẹ̀lú àwọn sheikh. Nígbà tó máa ṣe tán, ó ní kí wọ́n ṣí Dubai. Kí tẹ̀rù tọmọ tún lè lọ. Inú èmi dùn gan-an. Níṣẹ́ mo wọṣọ white, mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní yí ńlẹ̀. Mo ní aṣíwájú ló lè ṣe, aṣíwájú ló lè ṣe, ó ṣe tó bá mi ṣe. Wọ́n mọ̀ pé mi ń dúpẹ́ pé ó ṣì bí tèmi ti máa ra ọjà tèmi ní. But òun ló ṣe náà, ṣebí Ọbásanjọ́ ló gbé cellphone wa. Ọbásanjọ́ ló ṣe. Ó Aṣíwájú ló ṣe lé, inú mi dẹ̀ dùn. Ṣé rí ẹ wá rígbà tí mo ké pé mọ́tò máa wọ 9 million. Wọ́n rò pé mò ń bash Aṣíwájú, like mo ń baṣẹ́ ọwọ́ ẹ̀jẹ̀. Nígbà tí mo wá yí ńlẹ̀ tí mo tún ló ti ṣí, wọ́n bá ní ṣègbọ́n òun ṣépè fún lánàá ni wọ́n kà lé pè on Instagram. So Aṣíwájú ò ṣe èmi o, ọmọ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ yóò ṣe èmi o, Babangida ò ṣe èmi, kò sẹ́ni tó ṣe èmi. Ẹni tó bá fi ìlú sí kòrò la máa ń rántí ń kó ṣèkà fún wa. Bọ̀ bí wọ́n ṣe wá ń gbé gbogbo àtúnṣe Nàìjíríà yìí bọ̀, mo feel pé few people nínú wa ló mọ̀. But majority wa àwa la pọ̀ jù because kápáyé ẹ̀jẹ̀ là ń wá. Mo wá rí gbogbo nǹkan tí Aṣíwájú ṣe ló mú mi wá sí 57. 20 ní gbogbo wa tẹ́lẹ̀ local government. Ó ti di 57 báyìí. Nísìn ni mo ṣe mọ̀ pé àṣé iṣẹ́ tí Aṣíwájú ti ń ṣe òun ló crawl dé ibi because ó ń try láti unite gbogbo Nàìjíríà. Ṣé notice pé mi lo ìwé orí mi ni mo ti ń sọ because ilé news ni. Ṣé mo nǹkan tó ń pè ní news? Tẹ́ bá ti gbọ́ nínú NTA tí wọ́n bá sọ pé wọ́n ti ń jagun ẹ sápamọ́ sábẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀dì abẹ́ tébù yín ẹ má dáhùn lóhùn wèrè yẹn script ló ká. Yes, because okun máa ka ẹ mọ́bẹ̀ ó máa pa ẹ lẹ̀ àmọ́ gbogbo wa tọmọtọmọ àyìnbógun lọ.
So what did he do here? He said President Tinubu did this. He went to Dubai, got the place open, now he's able to do his business. And I mean, I feel that that's a plus. Like, if you weren't able to do your business and now you can do it because of what the president did, I mean, there's nothing wrong with what you just said. That's what I thought. And until I heard this video, take a listen to this one.
Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ẹkáàbọ. I am so sober this morning. I am very sober. First, to all Nigerians, all well-wishers, all the people that wish this country goes better, ẹ dáríjì mí, I am sorry. First, before I say anything, I am sorry. Ẹ wò, ẹ dáríjì mí, ẹ jọ̀ọ́. No. Èpè yìí pọ̀ o. Èpè yìí pọ̀ o. Mi dẹ̀ ṣẹ̀ o. Mo kọ̀ go wrong ni. Mo go wrong. Mo pick nǹkan tí ó yẹ kí n pick. And I am seriously sorry. So first, two narration is going on social media, which is mo gba owó. Mi gba owó rárá. My heart is heavy. And I have hurt a lot of Nigerians deeply. Ẹ dákun, ẹ foríjì mí. Ẹ dákun, ẹ foríjì mí, ẹ jọ̀ọ́. You know what? I didn't take money from anyone. No, at all. The second narration is about insecurity. It is so obvious that insecurity is in town, is everywhere in Nigeria, and the government are not doing anything about it. But What I was trying to say in the video is, tí ẹ bá rí anybody tó sọ pé, hey, wọ́n ń bọ̀ láti bíbá yìí o. And someone in the news is telling you, don't worry, nothing is happening, be calm, be calm. Ẹ má dá lóhùn. Don't answer that person because that person is reading a script. That was all I was trying to say. That don't answer that person because the person saying, be calm, everything will be fine. In a script, somebody told him or her to read. I am sorry, Nigerians. What I was saying in essence is insecurities in Nigeria. Gbogbo ẹni tó bá ti ń ka script fún yín pé don't worry, everything will be fine is lying. The person is lying because it's obvious that there is insecurity. My best friend's mother was kidnapped. I am not supposed to bring this matter here. She was kidnapped, we paid. How will I say there is no insecurity? We didn't bring this out because we had the payments from millions of people because we all didn't have. What I was saying about insecurity is if anyone is reading a script on television telling you don't worry, everything is fine, they are not doing anything in any place, it's a lie. You run away because there is obviously something wrong, but that person is saying what they want him to say. In fact, due to this heat and every course I've gotten, I am telling you right now, Nigerians, that I am in my very, very low stage. Sober to my people, because my people come first and you are my people. You've supported me through my career as an actor. Businesses. It's not the government. I'm sorry. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Insta blog, all the gist lover, all of you that just made all this thing so terrible. I understand you are doing your job. Thank you. I take all this blame. I take it. I am really sorry. All of you. Everyone that matters to me, sees me and say, oh, Aremu Afolayan, I like you. So for this, I know your choice is not Tinubu or the regime of Tinubu. Of course, I am withdrawing everything about. In fact, what I went to do is just to call Lege. I like this thing you brought up because right now we can now talk to our local government chairman directly and hold them accountable. That was why I went for that, not the other way around. I'm sorry, Nigerians. Please forgive me. Please. I'm withdrawing myself. Anything that has to do with politics, anything that has to do with politics, I'm withdrawing. and I'm standing with you, my people. Please forgive me. Moyo, please, all of those caps, all those accessories, just go throw them off into the garbage. I don't care. I don't want to have anything to do with this again. Again, I repeat, Mami, Babami, ẹ̀yin àbúrò mi, ẹ̀yin ọ̀rẹ́ mi, ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi ní orí social media, ẹ dákun. Please, my people, tell me, yes, Ebino see me, but eba me apologize. See more people called Darijimi. To all my Igbo friends that called me and said, Aremo, you shouldn't have said that. I said, I didn't do anything. They only read it wrong. They only read what I said wrong. They listened to it wrong. What I was saying is, if anyone is telling you, because my Igbo friends call me, 3 of my Hausa friends say, Aremu, they are really bashing you. I say, if an Hausa man can call me, that means this thing is everywhere. That means Moti share Nigerians. I am sorry. As in, from the depth of my heart, I am sorry. Please forgive me, please. And I'm withdrawing, as in, with my full chest. I am withdrawing and standing with you people, because that's what I have been doing right from time. Edakun, Emabinu, Edakun. Please, Moyo, throw away all these things. I don't ever want to have anything to do with this. Igbo, Yoruba, and there are Hausas that look into.
Do you realize everything he said on his knees? To who? Your Igbo friends called you. The outside friends, I know that those ones, they won't bully you. They'll probably just tell you that he said that they told him that they're insulting him. But the Igbo friends called you. And so you're not going to get involved in politics anymore. You now kneel down to. What do they have on folks? Why is it that many of us are like this? I mean, to be fair, I understand that if people curse you to a particular point, it will affect you. I mean, they curse me on social media and they probably curse him more. So I know it can be very heavy. Only it can get you depressed if you're not careful. I get that. But the idea that you come to the public and kneel down and be telling people you are sorry. Sorry for what? What did he say? What did he say? What did Aremu say? What did he say? It did not. I mean, I was waiting for him to actually say that thing because I didn't listen to the second video. I didn't listen to everything. I just listened to maybe like 30 seconds before coming live. So I was actually, that's why I waited for everything to play. I was waiting for something that he did. What did he say? Is with Lege Miami. I'll play what Lege Miami said later. Is with Lege Miami. He said that Tomba can use so Tomba scripting on cow. If you really understand, he should have told them what he meant. What did you understand from what he said? He's saying that so people will read the news to you about people will tell you news about stuff but there's a reality that don't experience that they understand how things are going. So it's not about script. Then he held a few pieces of paper and said, look, this is the script, or I could have told you what's here, but I'm telling you what happened to me, what I've experienced. Then he said, unless it's another video, but the video the more playing, then he said that it's just like when people read the news to you, he's trying to say that beyond the script, I want to tell you my experience, and my experience is that I can go to Dubai and import stuff, unlike what happened before Tinubu became president. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? He didn't curse anybody. He didn't say some people will go to hell. He didn't say some people's life will be worse. He did not insult anybody. Why is he apologizing? Is there something beyond what we are seeing? Maybe there is. Maybe there is something. Because I'm wondering what see, if you go off, I will explain respectfully, like, you shouldn't have said this. For instance, when it started, he said something that I actually felt it was a bit harsh. When he said, he's doing well, because they're complaining, that may sound a bit, off. That's the only thing. The funny thing is that thing that I feel that is actually the problem, he didn't even talk about it. He's talking about an example that he gave towards the end to justify the fact that he's not reading a script, he's only telling his experiences, and thereby telling people that if you hear the news about somebody telling you something is happening in some place, the person is simply reading a script. I'm not reading a script, I'm telling you my experience. What's wrong with that? The real issue that I saw in that original video is the beginning when he said some people are complaining because that may sound a bit off, and I thought that's the reason they are insulting him, but because of security, because he said that, because he gave an example that Toman can use, Toman can also have a guy, have a bed, can script in you, that the reality is different. He's not even talking about insecurity, he's talking about his own experience and the fact that he's telling you stuff without having to look into a piece of paper. That's what he meant. I mean, JB, we all listen to it together. Koyemi. What do they have on some of our people? Why do we pander? And then people say things like my Igbo friend, and so what? You know what? I'm going to read something to you that one of my Igbo friends sent to me. Listen, if you're doing something out of hate for Igbos, it's on you. If you're hating on Igbo people and you are hating on them, that's on you. Fix up. But that you are standing on what you believe to be the right thing, and because somebody feels offended, you now have to cower and pander and kowtow to who? People send me messages. Am I cursing them? I don't hate them. I like them. I relate with them. Sometimes if I go to buy something, I must like talk to an Igbo person. I have Igbo people in my life. Doesn't mean that I should now change history in order to make some people feel comfortable. And by the way, this idea of some people feel offended, and so what? Anybody can feel offended. Offense is on the floor. You can go and pick it on your own. That's your business. So the rest of us should be tiptoeing because you're going to feel offended. I said the other day about someone asking us to speak English in Yoruba land, and one person I went to school together, she's Igbo and she's a friend. We haven't spoken in decades, but then she reached out, and I'll read to you what she said, and then I'll read my response. I'm not saying this because I hate you. I'm just saying it because I love my own. And I cannot love you at the expense of myself. What's with this pandering? What's with all this? I'm sorry. If people don't buy your goods, somebody else will buy. Okay, so let's assume that all of us decide to pander because we're going to sell stuff to people. I don't want people to also feel that we are bad people. So we all pander and then we throw away our heritage and our inheritance so that we can look good to some people. What then? You build a space where the people who didn't have the stuff will now become your lord in your own land. Why? Because you are weak. Ayomide, if you're one of those people, please go out or I'll block you. I don't have time for whether you're Yoruba or you are Igbo. If you're stupid, I'll send you out. I don't know whether you're real Yoruba with your name or you are Igbo just being stupid, because you are being stupid right now in the comment section. The guy was responding, he was saying my Igbo friend said, that you're asking us, or you're asking people in the comment section. He said Nigerians. It's about Igbos. What are you talking about? Who cries about politics on social media? Who has a problem with the fact that somebody is praising Tinubu? I like Tinubu. By the way, I like Tinubu. If you want to die, find a transformer and go and hug. I love Tinubu. I love him. I'm not partisan. I'm not an APC person. At least I'm not in a party yet. Yet in capital letter. I'm not in any political party yet. But that man called Tinubu, I love him. And it does not mean he is perfect. He can be wrong, and he has been wrong. And he will still be wrong because he's human. He will make mistakes. And if he does something wrong and want to criticize him, we will criticize him. But not because we want him to fail, but because we want him to succeed. But when he does something good, I will praise him. And if you have a problem with that, hug a transformer. What is this nonsense about? Everybody's now tiptoeing and begging you, please forgive me. Forgive for what? And the people you even... What is it about this whole thing? Is there something else that we don't know? And it happens to me too. I know. I just don't talk about it in public. Some people will begin to move a particular way. There's some guys were working on a project some years ago. Everybody started disconnecting. I don't care. If you're supposed to work together and you're stupid about the fact that somebody is standing up for his own people, it's because we're not supposed to work together. You can find your way away from me. Again, this is different from hating on other people. I'm not saying hate people and say I am standing for Yoruba. That's I don't think. It's not that I don't think it is the wrong thing. I don't think it's right, and I know it's wrong. You also know it's wrong. You shouldn't be hating on any ethnic group. So I hate Kiniko. I hate. You can't be hating any ethnic group as a good human being. If you have God living in your heart, you should also. There has to be something that cautions you. You can't go that route. However, that you are speaking up for your own self, or that you are expressing your own mind based on your own conviction. So I cannot talk now because you don't feel good. If you like, don't feel anything in your life. That's your business. I don't get this whole thing. And instead, with all this American nonsense we imported, with all this Me Too, cancel culture, you are empowering clowns. You are empowering clowns. So you are going to leave your doors open because an outsider feels uncomfortable with the fact that you have a big gate. See, your gate is too high, it's too tall. So leave it open so that I can walk, I can feel comfortable in your house. How rubbish is this? And it's not about him. It's not just about because I like Aremo. And I feel I'm still trying to understand people from a particular region that are your friends. Doesn't mean you should throw your heritage away. Mumbo, I'm trying to get YouTube back. Oh, yeah. Goodness, let's stream. I think it's what's it called from. So I really don't sincerely. I'm still trying to understand it, and Yoruba people will do it a lot. You're trying to prove a point that I'm a good person. Listen, I am good. If you think there's something on my face, I believe I am good. If you think I'm not good, that's okay. If you think I'm good, that's fine. If you ask me to prove that I am good to you, you are stupid. That's my stance. I can't be like this in my life and be kowtowing to people who are not. And okay, the person has money. So what? Whatever makes you think I have to prove myself to you means you are not thinking straight. You are nobody. Nobody on this earth is worth me proving myself to. Nobody. If you look at my life and you think that if you look at everything I've done, and you think that whatever conclusion you come to, that's your business. Because if a person is, and that's when no matter how fair, no matter how respectful, no matter how courteous you are, they will gaslight you. They will gaslight you. And guess what? They never change their own stance. They don't care how you feel, but you must make them comfortable. If I do stuff to you and you are now telling me that I have to prove to you, it means you're not thinking. What do you mean I have to now prove to you that? Who are you? We are too materialistic. Money is important, though, don't get me wrong. Money is important, but all this thing about if I don't do this, I'm not going to work. Some guys yesterday, maybe that's why I'm talking like this. Some guys just sent me a message and said the particular person working in Hollywood who did this and this, and then when we're talking about something, he decided not to say some things because he works in Hollywood, and it's going to affect his roles in Hollywood. Okay, go and do that job. Act in that movie. You get the money, right? That's fine. Let all your Bible begin to act like you. It will not take long for you to be conquered in your own land because you are stupid. The only thing you think about is food. You work and collect money and eat, and that's it. What's this thing about it will affect my job? Do you know how many people will support you if you actually stand for what you believe in? There are people that will stand for you if you just follow your. I mean, again, I'm not saying hate people. I'm not saying have problem with people. But this idea of always trying to be nice. I did not sing Gongoa, so I didn't write that song. I don't have to be nice to anybody. Be kind. Be good. Be fair. But that niceness, it's based on the other person's perception of what you are doing, not necessarily based on what you are doing. You could be doing the best thing, and the person will say you are not nice. You be fair, you be good, you be kind, do well to others, but choose your path. But the fact that you're going to be pandering and saying, oh, and they will not think I am nice. I don't care if you think I'm nice or not. Who are you? And that's the thing. This is why we get in trouble. Somebody can give you some, and I'm not saying that's what's happening to Aremo. I'm just saying as a general thing. People tend to pander because they're like, if I speak, the person may not give me kidney. Listen, again, I'm not saying hate people. I'm not saying just be talking anyhow and be hating on people and be talking rubbish and be insulting ethnic groups. Of course, that's unnecessary. It also shows the person is not cultured. But that you are saying what you believe in, that you know to be right, the other person holds his own opinion and tells you that you are wrong because it does not confirm with what they are saying. Who are they? They have money, and so what? They have connection, and so what? Connection. They will fade away. Another person will come and help you. See, I want to just spend some time on this thing. Everybody should know that God is their source. God is your source. Human beings are channels. If one channel says no, another one will open up. All these things that you're just pandering, you are destroying. You can't even say the truth to your children. You can't even teach your children the right thing. You are raising your kids to just be pandering all over the place and acting like. You know what? Let me read to you what the lady said, and I'll read my response because. Respect everybody. There's nothing wrong with that, and everybody should do that. But all this one that you be, I'm sorry, sir, you don't feel that I'm. If you feel that I am not whatever you think I'm not, I am not. If that will make you hit your head on the table, go and do it. I don't care. But one second. Okay, I think I found it. So I put out this video, right, about the young man who said Yoruba people were speaking Yoruba to everybody. And I said, and we did a video on that, I put it on social media. You really don't have to be in Yoruba land. That's the truth. And that's the funny thing. These clowns will not go to Sokoto to tell Hausas not to speak Hausa. They won't tell Hausa in Kano that English is the official language. They don't say that. They've never made that complaint in the north. Never would you see anybody come on social media and say, oh, why we go to the north, they're always speaking Hausa, why don't you just speak English? It's not the official language. Nobody says that in the north. So what gives you that audacity? What gives you that igboya, that courage? What gives you that audacity to say that in Yoruba land? Say you are speaking in Yoruba. Can't you speak English? Can't you have your sense working? Why should I speak the language you want? By the way, I understand it's important to speak English language. And if you want to communicate properly across the country, it's the best way to communicate, right? It's a fact. And that's okay. But there's another thing to it. You can't go around the country and say that only one ethnic group complains about everybody not speaking English. Ask them to speak English. It's not as if they can even speak very good English. They're just speaking rather. So while I believe it's important to make your visitors or guests feel comfortable by speaking English to them, I think the guests also understand the fact that I also want to be comfortable by speaking the language that I am comfortable speaking, which is Yoruba. And if you're not comfortable with that, you can literally just carry your bag and go home. It doesn't mean we are fighting. It just means that you don't like what I'm doing here. And you are expressing your right to move. But you cannot express your right to make me change how I speak. Because who are you? They will not say it to the Northerners, but they'll say it to you. But anyway, let me read to you what this lady said. I've known this lady for almost 30 years. Not for a long time, actually. Very long time. We went to school together. It says Busui. Could take with 30 years old. Could take with 30 years. What she did not say. Anyway, it's been more than what year are we? This is 2026. No, it's close though. Wow, it's more than 25 years. Wow. Busui, I'm genuinely shocked and disappointed. You should know better because your analysis is way off the point. Somehow, you managed to miss the point. The behavior the speaker described is something I experienced even in OAU, our alma mater. I had the women in faculty offices speak to me in Yoruba, and when I stated politely that I didn't understand, they carried on irrespective. In some cases, turning the conversation derogatory about me. I was born in Lagos and understood enough to know but couldn't speak. If you were in that situation, wouldn't you feel triggered? The mindset you espouse is archaic and does not align with the expectations of modern decent society. What is the point of communication if the person on the other side cannot understand you? Also, land of scarcity indeed. There's a reason the Nigerian Civil War is not taught in Nigerian schools, but you should probably do your research if you're going to veer off point and speak of things you know little about. You are a learned person, so there's no excuse for this level of undisguised bias and I dare say bigotry. Or is English not the official language of Nigeria anymore? Is that English not good? Once you don't say anything, you just go straight to bigotry. You're a bigot. It doesn't move me. I'll read to you by response. I said Amaka, that's her name. I am neither shocked nor disappointed by your comment, but it's good to hear from you. I empathize with what you went through in school. The women should have spoken to you in English in order to communicate effectively. That said, you claim that wanting to speak one's native language in one's own land is archaic. What does that say about you, especially since that standard isn't applied uniformly across Nigeria? I suggest you keep that same energy when you visit Sokoto or Anambra. Eventually, people like you must realize the nation has the right to conduct itself as it sees fit within its own enclave. No one is going to shrink themselves just to make you feel comfortable. We speak English, but we choose when and where to do so. We will not be dictated to by those throwing tantrums because they refuse to assimilate. If you have lived in Lagos for more than 4 decades and still cannot speak Yoruba, who is to blame for that? Furthermore, the scarcity in the southeast had little to do with the civil war. There's a reason many Igbo leaders were born outside Igbo land. Nnamdi Azikiwe and Chukwuemeka Ojukwu, for instance, were born long before the war. I advise you to study the reasons behind their parents' migrations. Start with Igbo, 25 years after the war by Igbokwe, and ethnic politics in Nigeria by Okudiba Noli. To understand the specific nature of the scarcity during the war, John de St. George's The Nigerian Civil War is essential reading. As for bias and bigotry, your opinion is yours and it doesn't bother me because labeling every disagreement as bigotry is more projection than argument. But understand this, not on those who expect basic cultural regard. English may be Nigeria's official language, but I didn't make a nuisance of myself when people spoke Igbo to me in Onitsha or Hausa in Kaduna. Learn to assimilate. Demanding that people abandon their culture to prove they are not detribalized is quite frankly primitive. That was my response. You cannot be telling me, I mean, we're like age mates, we're over 40. Today is my birthday, by the way. We are over 40. You were born in Lagos, you can't speak Yoruba. Whose fault is that? Should you speak communicate to people, of course. Speak English to people, try to communicate with them. But you can't be moving around, be determining to everybody where you go that this is how they must speak to you. Who are you? What makes you so special? You can't learn the language of the natives, but you want people to actually pander to you. Who are you? This person is actually a good person. But see, you can be good and not very smart. They are saying he's bigotry, he's bias, he's kiniko. When I went to your hometown, they were speaking Igbo to me. Was I throwing tantrums and acting like a nuisance? The point is, and this is where Yoruba people actually miss it. Thank you, Mimi Joseph, and thank you everybody on TikTok and on YouTube for the birthday wishes. The point that people miss is that balance. People will not keep speaking English to you if they know you don't understand what they're saying. Sorry, they will not keep speaking their native language to you if you tell them that I don't understand what you're saying. Most likely they're going to find a way to communicate with you. But let's say some people like they did in my school. And I said yesterday, I went to Ife in our school. If you go to any faculty office, they will speak Yoruba to you. If you don't understand, you tell them. And in every case that I've been present to, every case, whether it's in the faculty department or Senate building, if you tell them you don't understand, they will switch to English language. I've noticed that a lot. That's what I noticed when I was in school. She had a different experience apparently. I said they always spoke Yoruba to her. Okay, I empathize with you. They should have spoken English language to you. Having said that, you are not the reason for our existence. Your comfort is not the reason for our communication. If you don't understand what we are speaking, learn our language. We'll speak English to you until we also want to feel comfortable. And you can't tell us to stop speaking Yoruba because we want to make you feel comfortable. And we're speaking, and the funny thing is, it's not like we don't understand English language. Of course we do. We're speaking it, right? Even if it's actually very good. I won't lie, if I do say so myself. But the point is, I feel comfortable speaking my language. No, I just like myself. And I'm not going to spend my entire lifetime trying to please other people. That is a terrible way to live. Oh, what will make this person feel good? Let me do something that will make the person feel good. I don't care if you feel good about everything I do. You don't have to feel good about it. I just make sure that what I do doesn't hurt you. I'm not trying to hurt you. But you feeling good is not the reason for my actions. You can feel bad. I don't care. But it must not hurt you. And I must make sure I'm not doing it in order to get at you or anything. But that you not tell me that I take offense. Offense is free. It's like meta mini. In fact, is it cheap or free? Whichever one. It's like meta mini or just free. You can pick any. You can go anywhere and pick offense. Let me tell you something. If a person uses I am offended at what you're saying, if they use it on you, very soon you're going to lose your ability to speak. Thank you very much. You're might on YouTube for the gift. It's free. Offense is free. You can pick offense. You can pick as many as possible. As I'm speaking right now, you may feel offended. That's your right. You have the right to feel offended. But I have a right not to care. And I don't care. And we have to toughen our children. All this pandering. How can you be at this age? The man is older than me. You are kneeling down to beg people, say, yeah, sorry. Sorry for what? What did you do? Be fair. Be kind. But that, Mr. Nice, forget it. Unless you want to say Gogo, so leave that nice alone. Because, and I've said it before, niceness is based on people's perception of what you do, not necessarily based on your own intentions or even the reality of what you're doing. You may be doing the best to help a person, and the person will still take offense. If you are raising your child and you tell the child you can't be having chocolate morning, noon, and night, and say you have to eat vegetables, you're not nice to that child. Does that mean you're a bad person? So because you want your kid to like you, and most of these people behave like children, because you want your children to like you, now be giving them what they want. Chocolate, sweets, candy, all kinds of things. Before you know it, the teeth, it's rotten. You now carry. Who are you doing? You are doing yourself. Love people. I like to repeat it because you can take things to the extreme. Be kind. I think I was kind with my message, wasn't I? Thanks for the gift. I was kind with the message. I empathize with your problem. But guess what? I'm not the reason for your wala. If you don't understand. And by the way, people do it a lot from some parts of Nigeria. You live in Yoruba land for 10, 20, 30, 40 years and you can't speak the language and you think it's a flex. It is not. It shows that you are not culturally aware. You're not socially aware. That's currency. That's currency. If you live in a particular place, you don't have to be able to speak everything, to be honest. But as you grow, maybe your parent, and you can blame your father and say, my father and my mother used to say I should get inside. That's why I didn't speak. Okay. You went to Ife. You went to OAU for learning and culture, sports and struggle. Great Ife. Great. You went to Ife. You would have learned, picked some things. You're not intentional about anything. That's why the fact that you're living there, you can speak your own mother tongue, can't you? That means it doesn't matter to you now. And it's okay. You can speak your Igbo, although you're not living in Igbo land. But you can't speak Yoruba, even though you're living in Yoruba land. And I think it's fine. You have a right to not want to speak Yoruba. It's perfectly fine. But I also have a right to speak Yoruba, and it's perfectly fine. If you can't understand, that is your business. And these things they do in Yoruba land, they should please try and be doing it in Kano. I want to hear somebody go to Kaduna and say that English is the lingua franca. They won't. They will not. You are the one you're right supposed to be kneeling down. I understand where it's coming from, Sha, because now, how do I say that in English? Help me. What are you saying right now? How do I say it in English? Why do you think Wole Soyinka won Nobel laureate? You think it was speaking English? For the most part, the English he was speaking was Yoruba. I hope you know. Read his book now. You are hiding like I want to be seen as good Nigerian. You have lost your language. And their words in their own language, they don't have their words, they don't have in English language, they don't have their own local equivalent. They've lost the local ones because they're trying to show that they are smart. I'll tell you something before I go on. When I was in uni, I was at home during one holiday. I think it was a strike or whichever one. I was at home and I watched an interview. I can never forget. It was on BCOS because I grew up in Ibadan. It was on BCOS and it was Professor Akinwumi Shola. He's the one who wrote Oleku, Shaore, Deko, Shegbe. He wrote the books that eventually became movies with Uncle TK and Mainframe. I should say Baba TK because Baba Yonshanku, Oshati Batunde Kilani. This interview on BCOS, Professor Akinwumi Shola said something that has stayed with me ever since. He said, Yorùbá náà fi sọ, wọ́n ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn wa wọ́n á sọ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì. Wọ́n lè sọ, wọ́n ní èdè abínibí wọn ò mọ̀ dójú àmì. Gẹ̀ẹ́sì tó ń sọ gan wọn ò mọ̀ dójú àmì. In other words, they are acting like they are better speaking English language than speaking Yoruba language. The Yoruba language, they don't really understand it. They don't understand it well anyway, because they don't speak it. The English language, they can't speak English very well. How many of these speak English will tell you that I'm going to my mother, I'll tell my mother for you. I'll tell your daddy for you. That's the English you're supposed to be speaking, no? So at the end of the day, you don't really understand your native language, and the English you're talking about, you really don't understand it either. At best, you could just speak basic pidgin. And if we have to switch to local Soyibo Gidi, we can also do that. But guess what? We will say what we want to say. If you have a problem with it, you can literally pack your bags and go home. And nobody will have a problem with that. You have that right. People that do well, right, especially in literature, do that because for the most part, whether it's in literature, in theater, in film, and so on and so forth, especially for Yoruba people, folks who are ambidextrous. God has given you two hands. You can be ambidextrous, literally. Why would you want to cut one off in order to please people around you? Why can't you use both? My friend, they were trying. I know today's matters are rising, right? So we're talking about many things. My friend was trying to do a project in Abuja years ago on Igala. They're trying to teach their children Igala. So at the point, I was like, you know what? I think we should do Yoruba classes too. He said, excuse me, Abuja being what it is, you have different ethnicities apparently. So I said, I think I should start Yoruba classes because, I mean, if we're doing, because I was helping him out with the structure. So if you're doing Igala, which is brilliant, and he is Igala, by the way. I love that language too. It's very beautiful. I said, you're doing Igala, maybe we should just do Yoruba as well. It was like, no, there's no reason for it. And I said, why? He said, because you guys are always speaking your language. He said, what you have, we don't have. Because he said, if you go to, let's say, or Massacre, if you are going really into Nasarawa, and you just shout, Akinomaso, no, Oro, it's not Lane, Oroka. If you shout Oroka in the market, the women understand because they are Igala. If you say Oroka, they will know they will greet you. But once you leave the marketplace and you now go to offices, and those of us who have gone to school, educated and posh, with just speaking English to, we're just speaking English to our children. I mean, that's what he was telling me. So the Oroka that you say, someone, okay, thank you, Donald Shola, Oloroka in or Olane or whatever, whichever one you choose to say, it could be Olane, Shodudu. I like. And by the way, also background. When you get to the houses or the homes of those who are quote unquote educated, they don't speak the language. So they're trying to reclaim it by teaching their kids. And that's why they were having that program. And he said to me that you don't need it. You know, I was actually quite proud. I was like, because everywhere he sees your Bible, you guys are always speaking your language. I remember back in the day, I was talking to, of course, an Igala guy. We're talking about TV, and it was like, I mean, those were days of African Magic. And I was like, I said, why are you always watching African Magic Yoruba? You don't understand the language. He said, at least they have subtitle. I said, but you can watch any other thing. He said, this is the only one that makes sense to me on this DSTV, as far as African shows are concerned. Why? Because they are real. That's what he said. It's not even Yoruba. So why would I throw that away because I want to make somebody feel good in Lagos? When people are looking at me and saying, you guys have it good, we're going to copy you and teach our children, I should now say, let's stop talking about it too. Let's not become those who will lose everything and they will now go back and be looking for it to teach our children. It makes no sense. I'm not going to lose myself because of you. You don't count that much. That's the truth. In fact, you don't count at all to warrant me losing myself. Be fair to everybody. I always like to add caveat. Be good, be kind, but don't lose yourself because people are feeling bad. Someone is talking about, Mimi says, someone said Asake documentary was in Yoruba, but authenticity is why Asake is doing good. Absolutely. He did so well. I saw the documentary with Korti, and I mentioned it earlier. It was really nice. Spoke Yoruba, of course, code mix shao. Also in Bodia, so Yoruba, but it was solid. We can't lose ourselves. Yoruba is not a Nigerian language. Alone. Let me just add alone. It just happens to be. We just happen to be in Nigeria as well. We are not just. We are bigger than this place. We are bigger than the country. Whatever will not make you say to a Swahili, to somebody speaking Swahili to stop it, or to somebody speaking Hausa to stop speaking Hausa, don't ever. Anybody that brings it up, me, I'll respond. If you say you hate me, we went to school together, I don't expect this from you. That's your business. Again, like everybody and all those fine things, but don't let people gaslight you. And I'll read to you one person that doesn't care about anybody's. Legemami says, I'm not timid like the one who said you were cursing him and he came out to apologize. If you come for me, I will go for your mother. Oh, Jẹ́ kí n rántí Ṣèyí lọ. Ṣèyí lọ pé tó bá ti boom báyìí, wọ́n á gbé ìyàwó ṣe pé ní. Ọ̀yọ́ burú. That's me, I can't curse your mother. but I can tell you where you can hug a transformer. At least I can do that much for you. And if you think I'm saying, but you're educated, that's my education speaking. But you're Christian, that's my Christianity speaking. But you're Moluabi, that's my Moluabi speaking. There are some people 80 want to get one little law, want to share Jew. And cook boy, no. Want to share Jew. What's the way? I am not timid, like the one who said you were cursing him and he came out to apologize. If you come for me, I will go for your mother. With all the good things Asiwaju is doing in Nigeria, that activist has been insulting Asiwaju, and so has the MVMV blogger. Since you all have your own candidate, why don't you campaign for them in peace and let us campaign for ours in peace? Must that activist come for Asiwaju? The way you people have your platform, I also have my own platform, and no one can silence me from campaigning for my choice. Lege Miami. It is aura for aura. And this is what Mambo. This is what Lege had to say. Take a listen. And I was saying this about the fact that whatever they are working on, that Aremu is no longer part of them. Take a listen to this.
Aremu Afolayan is not a member of 57. Us. Come and bully me, or bully my members. So you understand? Just leave leave me alone, please. Anyway, thank you very much. God bless you. All well wishes, assure you, on your mandate, we shall stand. Eco 57, Assure 2027. Eco 57. Assure 2027. Thank you.
I shake before anybody. I love my little influencing. My dark padà straight. I live right here. Now they speak English. I do for you're going everywhere telling people what they should say because you are who? Because you're a Nigerian. I'll find you something from Sheilo, because I like the way that guy said it. Tobaso can come and be a shekpe. Me, I don't be a shekpe, and I think you can attest to that. But I can't be hoodwinked. But wait, though, what makes you think that the right you have to your own views, the other person doesn't have that right? What makes you think that your own right is superior to theirs? This is Nigeria. This is not a part where we have hierarchy and say some people are better than the other because they are original this and fake this. No. Let me play you something from Sheilo. I hope it's this one, Sha. If it's not, I'll find you the one that it is. But I think this is nice. Take a listen.
People who are against APC today once danced on the stage when Buhari was inaugurated. You know, but today Nigeria is possible.
Wait.
Don't let us be too.
Wait. Sorry. What's up with what did you just do now?
No, I just sang a song. We break dance to the sing, to the dance, and the people they rejoice. Yeah, they did it for Buhari. You might not support me today, but I want to be 70 and 80, and I see my children enjoying the benefit of the sacrifice I've made today. Because I tell you wholeheartedly, not with any sentiment, if Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot redirect the ship of Nigeria, no politician currently can do it. You know, somebody was talking with me one day. I know that this one is going to come with another backlash, but let's say it.
Even if you're the strongest person in the world, at some point it must hit you at some point. There are days where you must be down at least, or you don't feel that at all.
I don't feel down because when you talk too much, I swear for you.
Okay, already have seen that on your
No, I shake straight in me, and that is all for me. So, you see, the moment you cross that boundary, the boundary of me into my children, my mother, and my wife.
Yeah.
That is why there is nothing on earth that Peter Obi can do that will make me support him.
Did somebody attack your people?
They attacked my children. They attacked my wife.
But it's not him. Those are his supporters, isn't it?
As long as Peter Obi will not call them to order and he keeps denying that his people are not doing that, he will never let Peter Obi wear the garment of Jesus today. He will never get my support. You know, any organization that doesn't support you to be free thinking is a cult.
Okay, define one of those. Define one of those as we have it in Nigeria.
Obedience now. Really, I don't like to, because I know that this your interview is going to come with a lot of backlash. The Yaradua election is the worst I have ever seen in my entire life. We were still on the queue. They don't announce the result. We still the queue. Baba. So the president has not seen me.
That's what I'm asking. Baba don't see you.
Baba never see me.
You know they pay you. You don't get. Doesn't that hurt? Like the person will even. With all due respect.
I love the branch politics. It doesn't mean that it is the best that we can get. But it's just that the man understands the terrain where it's functioning.
There's something you said. An organization where you can't express yourself is a cult. It's a cult. It's this herd mentality. Everybody thinks the exact same way. And if you have the guts to say something contrary to what the mob is thinking, then you become the next, person to be bullied. This is bullying. And I get it that, that it was bullied essentially. And I don't blame him for reacting based on, see, there's only so much you can take as far as, when people begin to come for you and insult you and curse you out on social media. I know I've not seen up to what he has seen. So, and I've seen a lot. I've seen a number that actually makes me also feel somehow sometimes. So I have to either shut things down or just delete people's comments on my videos. I mean, most of the comments I just be deleting, because if I go back to check another person's comment, I will see the curses or the mark on delete. Because on a normal day, I can't go one shake penny. But me, the man going on shake pay. I come out. But I think better they say rough. I can't sorry But I think more of us need to be able to understand that it's not about hate, it's about choice. People tell you that, you're after my life. The man who was talking about structure of criminality, is it not with the same people in 2026? I have a video here. Peter will be going to visit, Malami. He went to visit Malami 24 hours after his release. It's not the same, quote unquote, according to them, culture of criminality. Is it not with Alhaji Atiku Abubakar? What did he call him during the last election? Take a listen to this one. Let me even play it for you. It's very short anyway. No, it's music. It's the video actually is showing Peter Obi greeting Malami in his house. So me, I will not say my own. You now say it's a lie. I'm after your life. Is Peter Obi not after your life right now with the fact that he's in cahoots with people that he called structure of criminality? I saw a flyer the other day. Aisha Yusufu wants to become senator in Abuja. Which party? ADC. The bulk of people in ADC, were they not the people they called culture of criminality a few years ago? Do they have the right to change their minds? Yes. Should they join ADC if they like? Do you have a problem with what they're doing? No. Can other people do the same thing? Yes. You can't be jumping over the place and think that you reserve the right to change your mind. Other people can change their minds as well, and people can decide not to change their minds. You can be flying all over the place, be jumping from one party to another, and people say they want to stay in one place and they don't like your politics. If you don't like what they're saying, that's fine. But you can't make them actually change their minds because of you. What do people think they are? You know the funny thing, the most thing that all of them talk about is money. It's not like you even have political power or access. These are very tiny people. Like, the only thing you have in your life is money. You are so poor. The only thing you have is money. And money or not that. Otolowo drug, Otolowo fake product. Meanwhile, let me even talk about that fake product. NAFDAC Nigeria, public alert number 015-2026. Alert on confirmed counterfeit of Avastin 400 mg 16 ml and Tencentric 1200 mg 20 ml in Nigeria. NAFDAC is notifying healthcare professionals and the public of confirmed counterfeit batches of Avastin 400 mg 16 milliliter bevacizumab and Tencentric 1200 or 1200 mg and 20 ml atezolizumab circulating in Nigeria. This alert is issued in response to official communications from Roche Nigeria, which have confirmed several cases of counterfeit products in Nigeria. The marketing authorization holder reported receiving complaints from healthcare professionals across Nigeria. In many instances, patients bought counterfeit products to health facilities. These counterfeit items were reportedly sold at significantly lower prices, ranging from 180,000 naira to 350,000 naira. On investigation, the MAH, that's Roche Nigeria, compared the complaint samples to the genuine retained samples. The findings have provided clear evidence of counterfeit packaging material of the reported products. The following differences were observed during the investigation. They talked about batch numbers that were different. It didn't correspond to genuine Roche batches, different artwork and printing quality, wrong placement of text, and so on and so forth. Let me tell you something about what is actually bad about this. You've heard about fake products, fake drugs. You've heard about it. I'm sure you're already used to it. And so I get to just get impervious sometimes. But I'll tell you what makes this really terrible. These are these are drugs for cancer treatment. The Avastin that they're selling between 180,000 and 350,000 naira actually costs about 1 million naira a vial. The Tencentric costs up to 9 million naira a vial, and they're selling it very cheap. So here's the problem. A person is having wahala with cancer already. They're trying to find a way to, if I know my fine like Yasha. Someone has cancer. They are looking for a way out. They then go to the market and use their own money to buy counterfeit drugs to add to the cancer they have in their body. And that one is thinking that he will do well in life. After building houses and whatever they called it. I don't want to make it look as if I'm talking about a particular group. But they shall spend money. That's why people are poor. The only thing they have is money. You have money based on people's lives, and then you now be dictating to everybody how they should live their lives because of what? So the crazy part is now in Nigeria, there's fake baby food, there's fake malaria drug, there's fake drinks, there's fake electronics, and now we have fake cancer drugs. What kind of demon would enter a person to make them be making fake things like this? And it's not new. I have documents going back to 1942, 1948 of people making fake drugs all over the place, particularly in Cameroon. Not Cameroonians, so Nigerians. Well, there was Nigeria at the time. There was Nigeria at the time, but before independence, and that's even before independence. Selling chalk, RSM&B. If anybody comes and says I'm lying, I will bring out the book. But for now, I've read it here before. It's a shame. Somebody says they're not Nigerians. What did you sue me, go? These are the people that want to climb this moral pedestal to tell everybody how to behave. Like, things are terrible at home. Fix up. How can you be selling fake cancer drugs? How? And small time now, all of us will be going to church, be shouting, "Church, take back your country." I'm a Christian, by the way, proud one. Very proud Christian. I love Christianity. But the Christianity that makes you be selling fake drugs and killing people while building churches is not Christianity. Let me just put it that way. Shouting, "I can never have anything to do with a Muslim. I cannot do this thing. Muslim ticket. Church, take back your country." It's just political statement. You're killing people. Somebody says mention tribe. You're already doing it in the comment section. Well done. Thank you very much for the one that you're also doing. We're going to move on to something else now. Tension in South Africa over coronation of Nigerian Igbo king in Eastern Cape. This is from Sahara Reporters. An outrage has erupted in South Africa's Eastern Cape after traditional authorities strongly rejected the reported coronation of a Nigerian Igbo community monarch in East London, describing the move as illegal and capable of igniting communal tensions. Everywhere you go, BMTN. Everywhere. Looking for a king all over the place. The controversy followed reports that the Nigerian national, Solomon Ogbonna Eziko, was installed as Igwe Ndibo, a title representing the leader of the Igbo community, during a ceremony held over the weekend in the Kugompo area. However, the Eastern Cape House of Traditional and Khoisan leaders has distanced itself from the development, warning that the action undermines established traditional governance structures recognized under South African law, according to MDN News. So, another paragraph. According to the body, no group has the authority to create or recognize a kingship structure outside the provisions of the Traditional and Khoisan Leadership Act. Quote, "This act remains a serious disregard for established customary systems and poses a direct challenge to legally recognized traditional institutions," the statement read. The leaders warned that failure to address the issue decisively could weaken respect for the rule of law and open the door to parallel leadership systems across communities. Small time now, you call these people xenophobic, Abi? Just go everywhere, be looking for trouble. And the funny thing is this, you will never see people actually spend time to talk about what has to be fixed at home. They'll be policing you, be telling you that you are in a culture of criminality. People should wake up, shower. Let anybody gaslight you with any nonsense. And before I bring people up, there's a news report from the cable. Betty Akeredolu joins LP in Imo State, declares senatorial ambition. I don't want to read this news because the woman is over 70. That's how the other one, 70 years old man. The other one, area father, we call him Charlie Boy, was talking about how village boys were dealing with city boys after 70. Let's just leave that matter. But I hope she gets the seat in Imo State after insulting everybody in Yoruba land. All of us. That woman dealt with us. I usually just jump and pass because I think of Aketi. Just jump and pass. Insulted Yoruba people very well. Called one king baby king. Baby Oba. It's a shame. The kind of things we allow. And you know the funny thing, it's not that, let me say this before I play the next video. When people talk about inter-ethnic marriage in Nigeria and people, get very angry, sincerely, I get where they're coming from. But here's the point. Excuse me, I'm being distracted by something. Just give me a second, please. All right, fixed. It's not that I don't understand where people are coming from when they say, oh, people. But the question I usually ask people is that you realize that the issue is not inter-ethnic marriage. The issue is a particular ethnicity that's giving you a problem because you get married to them. Because how many ethnicities do you have in Nigeria? You have dozens, if not scores. Some people tell you 300 and something, but I like not to use that number because Omar Kamelaya Agbami. So you have all these ethnicities and you don't have anybody troubling people and saying because I'm married to you, I have to tell you what to do in your land. Only one. That means the problem is not an inter-ethnic issue. The problem is certain cultures that have not evolved. And I'm saying it, I've been saying it, it is true. I just try to find a respectful way of saying it. All fingers are not equal. All cultures are not equal. In 2026, some people are still fighting for the right to eat gizzard. Some women in Nigeria, believe it or not, I won't tell you exactly where, you can go and do your research. There are women in this country who are still fighting for the right to eat gizzard of chicken. There's problem. Oh. So you assume that we're all the same. Maybe you should be research. Yoruba men, help us. Research the ethnicity. Yoruba say gizzard. No, I'm actually serious. Oh. There's a particular culture in Nigeria that it's only the man of the house. As a matter of fact, if the man of the house is not available, you will give that gizzard to a boy, as long as he's male. He's the one that will eat that gizzard. Our president did not marry Yoruba. Remi Tinubu is a Yoruba woman. Her father is from Ijebu. Her mother is a Shekiri. She is not Yoruba. And the Shekiri is Yoruba. At least that's what they are saying, thankfully. I'm not the one saying it. And we listened to Remi Tinubu, the first lady, some time ago. You understood what she was saying, even though it was a Shekiri. But it's important to say it. Remi Tinubu is not from Europe. Her father is Ijebu. Olu Remi Tinubu. Okay, let's move away from that. I just think it's. I don't want to read this news about Betty Akeredolu. I remember the other day she was trying to get to Imo State. They said they don't want her. Why? Because she's married to a Yoruba. That's why. These are the people that want to teach you politics. These are the people that want to tell you, like the one that was writing me the notes, telling me about something is backward, something is not modern. You want to teach me about modernity. You know, you can't even allow Betty Akeredolu to run just because she's married to somebody who is not. Are you joking? And by the way, the one who is married to Ikemba could not run in Anambra State. Bianca Ojukwu. This is not made up. When I'm putting out this video, I promise you, I'm going to put the headline. You will see it. Why do people always go around telling the world how to be modern, but they are locked up in the Stone Age? It's crazy. And then Yoruba people will not be pandering and be saying, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Love everybody, because it's important to be adding this caveat because we have some Olori Gbeske. Love people. I'm not saying hate anybody, but that I would cower and dim my light or dim my brightness to make you feel comfortable in your darkness. That is not going to happen. If you have sense, you also get a way to get your light up. You get it on. Let me inspire you so that we can shine brightly together. The okay. The sky is wide enough. We can both fly. But don't tell me to reduce my brightness because something's wrong with your eyes. I'm not your ophthalmologist. God bless you. This one is from Sunday Go. Take a listen to this, please.
Beyond 2027, 100%. I'm actually, I know that's why you more to be with that's why you online. After Odumeju Aswaju, Akubaba, I belong for another extra. I got you about whatever you have to read, guys. Bolo so very obi atiku we kan abobi na wale Yoruba. Bolo so very alagalaga. Jowo igogo Aswaju lori. 100%. Ko láti dìbò. So na Aswaju ni o second time. I don't know.
Asiwaju ni. And if you don't want to vote for Asiwaju, you also have a right not to vote for him. You don't have to. You can decide to vote. If I can decide not to vote, it's okay. But don't tell people that they don't have a right to vote for him because you don't like him. Your hate doesn't do anything. And the other people are very bold about talking about Asiwaju. Someone says Paolo was stoned in the southeast. Yes, not once, not twice. Was a regular customer. They stoned Awo in Onitsha. Not once, not twice. Let's not even go in that direction because it just gets, when it gets to Awo, I get very angry on things like this. And the reason is because the person who wants to teach you about stuff is actually coming from a very, very backward space. But they now be telling you what is modern and what's not modern. What do you know that's called do you even know the meaning of the word modernity? Let's go to some good news before we bring people up. And like we said today, we're having a party. We've done some party earlier. We listened to comedy because that's what we can do. Interestingly, we listened to Odumeje, which was quite nice. There's another comedian that I want to play later, and I'm going to play that one before I bring people up. He thinks he's funny. He's not a very smart person, but you're going to listen to him, and then you can judge if I'm right or wrong. But that'll be much later. Before we get to that, let's share some good news. This time is from the Nigerian military, Nigerian army. 63 ISWAP's bodies recovered after failed attack on Malam Fatori. Troops of Sector 3, this is from Zagazola Makama. Troops of Sector 3, Operation Hadinkai, OPHK, supported by the Nigerian Air Force, sorry, not Army, Air Force, supported by the Nigerian Air Force, in fact, both of them, the troops of Sector 3 is the Nigerian Army, and then with Nigerian Air Force, have recovered no fewer than 63 bodies of Boko Haram ISWAP terrorists following a failed infiltration attack on Malam Fatori in Abadam local government area of Borno. Military sources said the insurgents launched the attack in the early hours of Wednesday, advancing on foot and deploying armed drones in an attempt to overrun the 68th Battalion position. The sources disclosed that the attack, which originated from the Duguri axis through the frontage of Bravo Company, was met with overwhelming resistance from troops, backed by precision airstrikes. According to the sources, the coordinated response led to a decisive defeat of the terrorists, who suffered heavy casualties during the engagement. Quote, following the engagement and subsequent clearance operations, a total of 63 terrorist bodies were recovered within and around the general area of Malam Fatori, indicating the scale of losses inflicted on the insurgents, a military source said. He added that the air component conducted multiple interdiction missions, delivering accurate strikes on identified enemy concentrations, which significantly degraded their fighting capability. The synergy between air and ground forces ensured that the terrorists were fixed and neutralized in large numbers, forcing the remnants to withdraw in disarray towards the Arege axis, he said. Right here, there are images of decapitated human beings, some of them naked, some of them just killed, just wasted. Of course, these are Boko Haram people who have been killing a lot of people. Some of them, their brains blown out, quite graphic. They'll go and meet their maker and explain to them how they got, whatever they have now. But let us listen to the General of Defense Staff of Nigeria, General Olufemi Oluyede, on this matter. Take a listen, please.
There's been an upsurge in attacks within the Northeast within the last 1 month. Well, it's not something that's new because it comes most times with Ramadan. But you know that we're doing our very best to checkmate this, and we'll continue to do that. But why I'm here today is to ensure that in future, this will not repeat itself. This afternoon, that for us to end this act of terrorism, the people of Borno State and Yobe State must take ownership of this problem. Because the bulk of the people perpetrating these heinous acts are from these states. They are our brothers, our sisters, our cousins, and we know them. I'll give you an example, basically. When Kukawa was attacked, and we were conducting coroner search afterwards, 2 of the people that came to attack Kukawa, the wounded ones, were inside that village. That means the people were complicit. So for us to bring this to an end, all hands must be on deck. Our people must resolve that this has to come to an end. And we must take ownership of this problem. That is my message to the people of Borno and Yobe State today.
Someone says, I forwarded a part of your tape to Arema Folayan. Thank you. Okay. I hope for everything, though. For the part I said, I understood this predicament. Because it can be very hard sometimes to bear when people are cursing you left, right, and center. So I understand that bit. What I don't understand, and I would never understand, is what we do when we pander towards folks, particularly obedient or Igbos or anybody, not just about ethnicity. Just pandering is nauseating, right? If it makes you feel as if you don't have a mind of your own. And I've said it before, let your own conscience be clear. And if you make a mistake in expressing yourself, you can fix that. I talked about where it was wrong. But the idea where nothing you say is right because it does not align with their own agenda, therefore you have to apologize for that. No. I'm not going to use you as a yardstick for what's right. You don't even know what's right. All right, I want to play you another. So we started with Odumeje, and I had a great laugh. I had a great time laughing. I thought it was really nice. But I saw this earlier today, and I think it's one of the reasons we speak up. But let me let you listen to it first, and I'll tell you what I think about it. Take a listen to. It's supposed to be a comedy. It's supposed to be funny, but it makes absolutely no sense. Take a listen, please.
So, guys, Yoruba, right? That's how Yoruba gets very quiet. So, that's one Yoruba girl. What's your love language? Say na Yoruba. Now, why you see Yoruba girl? Ali dates other tribe. They like to date Yoruba guys. They're Yoruba, right? It's your boo. Your boo too. That's a taboo. Yoruba girls like dating Yoruba boys. Just to avoid speaking English. If you want to say Yoruba girl is speak English, just break her heart. Papa, you go hear English. Let it go here na daily. Despite love Timoni for. Would they break heart me? Would tarnish image me? Okbe mi oniki uba uda mo de wala ti pokolin technique. Mo disappointment pẹ̀lú No, Yoruba girls, very wonderful people. If you hold like 5,000, date Yoruba girl for 4 years, you go still get change. No, but the shame. No, it's true. But one of my favorite life. But if not be fake life normally, waiting concern Yoruba girls and smoothie. Waiting do agbo. Fake life. Not be fake life. Waiting concern Igbo girls and shawarma. Waiting do okpa.
So I'm an artist. I think it's better for artists to be able to express themselves, whether in comedy or in theater or in music or painting, whatever, artistic expression. But I think there's a line that we must draw in the sand. Yoruba should not be the butt of people's jokes. When they get to talking about cowards, they say Yoruba people. Meanwhile, the person who is talking, there is no history of bravery where he comes from. And by the way, the guy is called Igwe. He's an Igbo boy. they use Yoruba people, Yoruba women. They are cheap, they are dirty, they can't speak English. Meanwhile, your entire family doesn't know how to express themselves. But it's the way people just say it's just comedy. It's not comedy. Stay with your family members and be using your mother and your children, your sisters and your siblings. Take them play. Talk about how whatever is your problem, use that as your routine and your repertoire. Enjoy. We can't be the butt of people's jokes. And that's how it begins. You grew up, I'm sure you probably grew up hearing it. You hear it, oh, you're a coward. And I just grew up, and one day I was like, wait, oh. You cannot, in your entire history of however how long you've been existing, you can't tell me one hero from your ethnicity. Not one. Do you know how terrible it can be? That a group of millions have no hero in pre-colonial times. And even since colonialism, they still can't mention anyone. But they call you cowards. And you smile about it, you laugh. It's supposed to be funny. Just take a joke. And that's the person who takes offense at everything you do. Somebody says they point at Ojukwu. How can Ojukwu be a hero? It was always running now. The man could not stand for it. He was always running. Ojukwu could run. That much he could do. At least on 2 major occasions, he ran. Not Iran, the country. He ran. He ran in July 1966. July 29, 1966. When everybody was trying to see what they were going to do after the counter coup, he ran away from the state house to the police headquarters in Enugu. Then he ran 67 miles all the way to Onitsha. He was hiding somewhere when he was out calling Babafemi Ogundepe. Fight. The East is behind you. Those were his words. The East is behind you and you are behind the cupboard. That was in 66. It wasn't long after that they started this whole wala with the war and everything in 67. Declared Biafra May 30, 1967. And how did he end that episode? He ran again to Côte d'Ivoire. And guess who was shouting about how he must be released and brought back home and I must be pardoned? Yoruba people. There was Ogunsowo, there was Soyinka, there was Taisho Ari. These were the major people that were running around to... Do you get any thanks for that? No, you're still going to insult Professor Wole Soyinka. Children who were not raised properly. A man goes to prison for 20 months because of your people. You still curse him out. That's the point. It is about culture. You cannot point to a particular person that actually saw anything through as a hero, but you will be calling people cowards and say, we're just joking. What kind of nonsense jokes is that? They can eat a wedu and they can eat agbo, they can drink agbo, and people. By the way, the comedy routine that they usually do in Nigeria, not all of them. Because I listen to very good. Bovi is good. Sheilo is good. Kenny Black is good. Baskemat is also good. And there's a particular one he did I will never forget. That I think it is in Ghana years ago. There are 2 things involved. If it's not this, it should be that. If it's this one, you are okay. If it's the other one, there are 2 things involved. Something creative. Most of these guys just talk. The ones I mentioned, these are good guys. And I'm sure there are many of them. I'm just telling you the ones that come to mind right now. But for the most part, a lot of these guys just hold the microphone and just begin to yab and just throw shades. And then they say, I'm just laughing. You can't just be laughing at the expense of entire ethnic group. Meanwhile, if they say one thing about your people, you'll be shedding tears of sorrow. The whole street will be filled with flood of tears. And you say, I take exception. People need to begin to speak up. So that was something that's supposed to be funny. You have to be very drunk to laugh at that, to be honest. I think it's a club. So people have to be very drunk to laugh at that. And it has to stop. No, someone says Kenny Black is Yoruba. No, they are even without ethnicity. I wasn't even thinking about ethnicity. I was just talking about very good comedians. And I don't have to mention Ali Baba because heads and shoulders above everybody. We know. I mean, but I'm talking stand up. I mean, these guys are good. And I know some of them are not Yoruba, but I just think if you're talking about funny comedians, it's comedy. And yes, sometimes there'll be jabs. I mean, it's a normal thing. Like you throw jabs, normal Yoruba jabs, you throw jabs at Hausa is a normal thing. But when you now have these routines where the Yoruba people become the butt of your jokes because you're trying to be funny, and they should understand because it's your craft. That's not a craft. By the way, you should just go and start doing hand and craft if you don't know how best to do your routine. Anyway, I won't put it out, because it may make the person feel bad. Anybody that wants to cut it out can cut it out, but I don't think it's the right way. It can't be insulting your people. And by the way, I take this thing very personally or very seriously because I was at a conference some years ago. This was a high level conference, and different people were invited, right, from different spaces, walks of life. There's a particular person, is a billionaire, is Igbo. He's into, I won't tell you, I don't want to mention his name because what he said was terrible. I don't want to, at least not yet. Maybe I will. The man went up, and this guy is a billionaire. He's not very polished. So there's that. He got there and said, and I said, your Yoruba people are cowards. There were thousands of people in that place. It was a Christian gathering. And I was like, this is dumb. I don't care that you're rich. That's actually very stupid. Everybody just sweeps around the carpet because let's just leave it, let it go. Let it be about the people. You will not hear the end of it. And that's the person that will teach us about how to grow Nigeria and how to have the tribalized rubbish. All right. I see your question in the comment section. I'm going to respond to it. The stuff about how Igbo became the language of the place. And I will also talk about the Gili thing that's happening. We talked about it some days ago, but apparently it's not stopping anytime soon. Bill, I say Yoruba women are now very angry. They discovered that people have been taking the piss. Gili and Ishafu, that rubbish argument. See, and I think I mentioned the other day, Gili and Ishafu, they're the same thing. They are not the same thing. Ishafu is literally scarf. Corrupted version of scarf and chiffon. There's nothing close to Gili. Igbos didn't have Gili because if you have a problem creating loin clothes to cover your privates, is that when you be thinking about Gili? That video we did the other day, I'm going to put it out, over the weekend. But let's bring some people up. I'll answer the question you asked later, but let me bring some people up and we hear other people's voices for a bit. Thank you very much for listening. If you're on TikTok, please power tap. If you're on YouTube and Facebook, please like and share as well. If you're on Twitter, kindly like and repost. Thank you very much for being here. Okay, we have a day coming. Hello.
Araba, yokun.
Into go wọlé tún lágbára. Ìpẹ̀lẹ́. Ìyanra. Bóni. I think maybe he has network issues.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, mo ń gbọ́.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me now, sir? Araba, yokun. Nkusha.
Okay, please go on. Mo ń gbọ́ báyìí. Ẹkáàbọ. Ìpẹ̀lẹ́. I think he's having issues with his network. I'm just going to check if let's bring somebody else up while he sorts that out. First, Sean.
Okay, hi, Bola. Shank me by.
Yeah. And bye-bye.
Yes. So, Ekushe, sir. Yes,
sir.
Been a while. Yes, sir.
Good to see you.
One of the good to see you too, sir. Yes, sir. One of the few things that really got me interested was the one that you just finished talking about comedy. Yeah, it's a strategy. Sometimes you see this liberalism, and I wouldn't really blame Yorubas or I wouldn't really blame our parents. That's just who we are by nature. You know, we are tolerating, we are accommodating. Can you just imagine that even after Ojuku did whatever he did, even it was Yorubas, that, said, he has to come back home, he should be pardoned and what have you. Now they are still the same set of people that are doing whatever they are doing, So it's as if there's nothing. We are one Nigeria, but it's a strategic way, of getting into the minds of the young people because of the truth. How many of the elderly people, I'm not saying the elderly people do not, but how many of the elderly people are interested in things like comedy, entertainment, and all? You find out more within the young people, right? So it's a strategy, to get into us, and then, in the long run, you feel it's nothing. But by the time the real thing start playing out, that's when you know that, oh, wait a minute, that thing you call comedy or those things you think didn't matter then were actually strategies, And talking about the inter-ethnic marriage of the thing, yes, sir, it's really, I'm from Ondo State, and the thing's really happening there, honestly, because you see, Aketi is a strong soldier, is a strong person, voice for the, not just for we, us in Ondo State, but for the Yoruba ethnic nationality as a whole, But it's so unfortunate to see what's playing out in Ondo State. Even, I don't want to be saying a lot of things. The sitting governor had to be dealing with some things which I don't want to be bringing up on here, right? But it's so unfortunate that such a thing is happening there. You see, talking of likes of Lagos, Ogun, and Ondo, especially, these three states are, I don't know, they are targeting the entire Yorubas, but Ondo State here, because most of the things that you even find in Lagos already, you also find them potentially. I don't want to be going into details. You also find them potentially even in Ondo State. You understand? So, it's really unfortunate. And then this is a lesson to our leaders, our politicians, and upcoming ones that we are not saying you should not go into inter-ethnic marriage. Inter-ethnic marriage is never an issue, but be mindful of the ethnicity you get married from. This is not it. This is not trying to throw jabs, but it is just what it is. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very, very much, Adekomi. Great to have you here. Wow. God is good. Where is First Sean? I brought you up. Thank you, Adekomi, for that submission. That was really good. Hello, First Sean, are you there? Okay, I'll bring up apologists. That's been a while. Let's have apologies for a bit.
Sure.
Ẹkáàbọ.
All right.
Yeah, there. Apologies, are you there? Please go on. Sunday, Adekomi came here to flex. I don't know if Leo. Ọjọ́ kan pẹ̀lú Ẹkáàbọ.
Okay, I really appreciate.
Ẹjọ́ arúgbó bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ sí tó láruọ. That place is your background is very noisy. No. It's noisy, please. Please try and find like a more quiet space so that people who are listening will be able to enjoy. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Thank you for your understanding. So let's have Robodo. User, I would like to bring you up, but you don't have a name. Please, just you can literally just quickly do it. Just add a name, so I'll be able to call your name. Adamu says, now I see why you they praise Ashake. All these OAU people say for Ashakara too much. But the guy is good, isn't he? All right, let's have Merobodo. Good evening.
Hey, Prof. Good evening, my brother. It's always nice to be part of your life. Eshigon. So, sorry. I'm trying to answer on what I saw. But ó jẹ́ kí n rántí nǹkan. So àwọn kan tó máa ń ṣe bí ó dàbí psy-op sí mi, ṣe psychological operation ọmọ.
Kì í ṣe pé ó dàbí psy-op.
Láàrin àwọn bàbá. Ẹ ṣe. Because tí bá wò láàrin àwọn èèyàn wa, ó dàbí pé most of our people pé tó bá lọ wọ́n wá important sí daily life Yorùbá most people á fi pé àwọn náà ń ta gbá àwọn náà ń ta wo bí ẹni pé bí tó bá lọ bí economy ma collapse. Meanwhile, wọ́n understand damage tí wọ́n ń ṣe to the economy of Yoruba land, pẹ̀lú gbogbo fake things tó ń tà, pẹ̀lú and wọ́n máa ń wò mí pé these people are business savvy and bí àwọn ló lọ wọ́n I don't know ó dà bí mímọ́ wọ́n ta lè ṣe táwọn èèyàn máa fi rí full picture nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ pé ibi tí wọ́n ti wá torí lack tó wà ń bẹ̀ most of them ṣe wà bí. Nǹkan tó dẹ̀ ń ṣe ń bì ó negatively overall affect economy bí ní so that bí ó feel pé bí ara nǹkan tó máa ń jẹ́ káwọn èèyàn wá kí guards wà down nìyẹn fún àwọn ará bí nǹkan tó máa ń jẹ́ kí guards wà down maybe bóyá ọkọ̀ ọbẹ̀ kan ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àwọn kankan mi ìrántí àwọn kan yẹn exactly mọ́ mo kàn pé sign up àwọn people yìí ó wọ́n ṣe máa ń wá in everybody's face wọ́n máa ń ṣe money na water. Meanwhile tí wọ́n bá connect everything ìyẹn á rí pé what they're doing is destructive to the Yoruba society. Wọ́n ní kí n sọ yẹn ó dà nípa àwọn leaders wa náà ní irú serious iṣẹ́ láti ṣe. I don't know how bó ṣe máa ṣẹlẹ̀ but àwọn èèyàn wá ní láti understand pé nípa àwọn èèyàn yẹn gangan bó ṣe rí nǹkan tó ń ṣe àwọn èèyàn wá ní láti understand. Wọ́n kì í sàn ẹni ẹ ṣe gan ni prof ọlọ́run tó máa wájú lọ́pàá ibi tí màmá rí sí ẹ ṣe gan ni.
Àṣẹ. Eshion, thank you very much. I really appreciate your submission. Eshion, thank you. I think at the end of the day, right, it's on parents, it's on young people, and I think people are also afraid of the extreme. You know, and I get it, right? You don't want to now become a hateful person, and I think a lot of people assume that once you stand up for what's yours, it makes you hateful, but it makes no sense to think that way. And I've used a particular example that if you're guarding your house or you're locking your doors, it doesn't mean you hate your neighbors. It just means that you love your family enough to protect them. So you shut your doors at night, you lock it, not because you hate people who are living around. And that's what this is about. If you're standing for your space, and people now come around and say, are we not in one Nigeria? It's like saying, are we not in one estate? Why are you locking your doors? Don't you trust everybody? You might be a thief. Just might be a thief. And you say, I'm not a thief. maybe you have cousins. They just may be thieves because especially the way you're moving with all these things you're doing, you may be stealing all over the place. So it's better for us to protect our spaces. But people don't shut their doors because they hate people. They shut their doors because they love people. They don't hate outsiders. They love those who are inside. And that's what this is all about. And I think that mindset is what, we need really, so that it's based on love, not on hate. And I think if more of us know that, then it becomes easy for us to be able to understand what this is all about. It's not, I'm sure you know from the things I say, it's not about, I don't know how people live well hating others, because I think that I don't know how you're able to pray yourself. And I've said I'm a Christian. I'm not able to pray if you hate people. Like, oh, I hate this person. I want to pray to God. Like, your heart should be doing somehow. So it's not about that. But you can't gaslight people into just being so lackadaisical about what they possess because they want to make you feel good. So you're able to understand that, there has to be that line that you draw. Okay? And it doesn't mean you hate anybody. Thank you very much for that submission. Now let's go to the question that I was asked. Before I do that, let me read some of the comments I see here on YouTube. So I'll start with so I'm trying to scroll up. Let me use this device. Might be better. So White Kubo says the Igbo king in Ghana issue has not been sorted yet. Well, now they have another one in South Africa. And small time now, you heard the South Africans are now xenophobic, creating kings all over the place. Listen, the easiest thing, because if I use another word, I will say something bad. It's inferiority. It's an inferior culture that has not evolved fully, because you are longing for something that people have even forgotten about. You want to, what people used to have, you didn't have it back then, so you're trying to now create something like that. By the way, I want to play you something. I just remembered it now. Because someone might come here and say, oh, we used to have this and we used to have that. I want to play the voice of your Lord and Savior. In case you are listening to me, you will know who it is once you start listening. And say, oh, we had kings. I'll find you that video. Remember? People used to have stuff, you didn't have it, and now you're going to do everything possible to just create something for yourself, even if it affects the owners of the land. You have one Igwe one place, one Easy another place. Everybody's just littered. It's a shame. I'll find you that video. No. I'm almost there. Okay. Take a listen to... No. I found one, but there's a longer version. I can't see the longer version now. I will just play the shorter one. Maybe I'll look at the longer one where the shorter one is playing. Take a listen to this. Otiri, here. Take a listen, please.
There is no royalty. None whatsoever. We don't have any Eze. There will not be any king in Biafra land. Check up on your walk. There is no royalty. None whatsoever. We are the only people to maintain that biblical understanding and edict, that covenant with Chuku Abiyama. Now, to the point that we gave it to our children, that is their name. When I see all these idiots calling themselves a movie, the prince and the princess, his royal majesty, useless people. Are you Biafrans? We don't have any kings in Biafra land. No queen, no king, nothing. We don't have any Eze. There will not be any king None None whatsoever. We are the only people to maintain that biblical understanding and edict, that covenant with Chuku Adama. Now keep.
I don't know the covenant people have with God. I said they should not have king because I read Bible. I don't know. Let's say that God is their king. I mean, that's the point. Anyway, the point is that people are having kings all over the place. Maybe they should listen to the Lord and Savior saying that they shouldn't be having kings. Let's move on from there. I'm just going to read some more comments on YouTube. Happy birthday. Thank you very much for the birthday wishes. Wadikubo says, even dogs eat chicken gizzard, so why can't women eat gizzard? If you ask me, I know, but let me not talk about it. It's a culture. It's a culture and tradition. Akado, thanks for the gifts. Thank you so much. Yomai says Betty prevented Aketis from his immediate family. I don't know about that. Let me not read that one. Because unless you provide proof. Mr. Victor, thank you very much. Let me not read what's the word now? Accusation without proof. Wadikubo says, I'm not surprised. Betty was in the State House signing contracts and checks. Let's just leave that one. I don't mind reading them, but I like to have beyond somebody saying it. But I'm sure you're right, because I saw something like that, but I don't have the proof here. I like to quote. It's a lot easier that way. Wadikubo says, cowardice. Ojuku is an institution to cowardice. Actually, that is true. In the days of Ibadan warlords, he would have been given better hemlock to swallow after being promised a heroic funeral. That is true. Yomite says, some of her ordeal was egregious. She moved all the school buses from Ondo State to campaign for a failed Senate bid in Imo State and abandoned those buses there. Hopefully they will be able to use that one to also campaign in the next one. Well, says Governor Makinde is married to an Niger woman and she's nothing like Betty Akere, although she behaves well. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. I think that's what happens when you're from a civilized place. All right, let's answer some questions. The question I saw earlier. Oh, yes. Apologist Joshua. Yes, today's my birthday. Thank you very much for the birthday wishes as well. So somebody reminded me of something we were talking about yesterday. We're talking about language and the fact that people travel to Yoruba land and I say we'll pause and do this birthday celebration thing because I'm seeing a lot of it's your birthday. Yes, it's my birthday. It's my birthday. Thank you. Towards the end, I'll probably just pause. Let me just keep quiet for a while because I'm seeing it again. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. All right. So we're having a conversation. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you. We'll go and we'll come back. After a while, I'll still mention it again. So, new people come in from time to time. But thanks for the gifts. Thank you very much for the wishes. May God bless you too. And I'm glad my white is not affecting the legibility of what you're writing because I was concerned about it. But I was like, there was a time I wore white and it showed. So let me just try it. And it worked. So it's working. So I'm glad about that. All right. Thanks. Thank you for all the gifts. Thank you for. Oh, wow. Thank you. Who is that? Thank you. Prof. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Prof. Thank you. Omokende, Sheye West, Lagos, Olateju, CEO Coded. Great Apartments, thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Thank you. You know, I think we should be talking about other things so that I can. I'm not used to stopping to thank people, but it's important that because this is lovely and I really appreciate it. So let me stop. I will learn today. They've been telling me since, and I will learn now. So let's pause. Thank God we're not having a topic. It's matters arising, so it's good. Thank you. Thank you very much for your generosity. And okay. So it's good to listen. Let me listen. Let me do what they are saying. Thank you very much to those who have gifted me. I really do appreciate it. This is very fantastic. I love it. Thank you for your generosity. God bless you. And I'm going to do the other thing they said I should do. But I will not leave it on for too long because Oman distracts me. But come on Shagidi. And Kamade Parok was in the war. So that's the bank account if you like support. And I hope I'm obedient. Not obedient with OBI, or it's OBE. I'm obedient. So that's bank details on the screen. If you like to support what we're doing, please use the bank details. God bless you richly. Okay. So we're talking about language usage in Yoruba land, and the fact that people are pushing back. And I mentioned that it's not the first time that in other parts of Nigeria, and by the way, this is not Igbo bashing. It's just that Igbos are the only one who demand that people actually speak English in their own land. Therefore, it's going to look as if I'm speaking to Igbos, not because anybody is fighting anybody, just because if one group is telling somebody, by the way, I appreciate it when people go in comment sections or my other videos and say things like you are going after Igbos. I'm responding to what people are saying. Why not tell people to stop being stupid so that there'll be no reason to react to what they're saying? Like you can't talk nonsense and then you tell people not to say anything because it will make you, because I have to prove to you that I'm educated and detribalized. Like that's nonsense. If you really think you are thinking, talk to people who are talking nonsense. So we have no reason to correct rubbish if there's no rubbish being spoken. I think that's fair enough, Abby. Amen. Thanks for the prayer. Amen. Thank you so much. User, please, can you just do me a favor? I think I've seen you a number of times now, but I don't know whether it's you or another person because the numbers after your user, so I can't tell who it is. But please just find a way to change that user to a real name, like a username. So I'll be able to call you and they can come up. I see a particular user trying to come up, but sometimes we have all kind of people, right? So please just try and get a name. I'll be able to bring you up much later. So back to what I was saying. This is not one trying to attack Igbos or anything. It's just that Igbos tend to make demands. And like I read earlier, Amaka was also doing the same thing. And this subtle jab of you are not modernized, you are not what's that word now? You're civilized and stuff. The truth of the matter is that coming from you to a Yoruba person, it's actually quite funny. Inú ewé ni ọ̀lẹ́wà ti ń ṣe ló ti ń ṣàyé kan tó yẹ kán bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí tú àkàrà wọn léèṣẹ́ pọ̀. You can't be saying things about modernity to a Yoruba person. It's actually it's an oxymoron. Having said that, I'll now explain what I was trying to say. You see, in the South, there was a time when Igbos were many who moved there. And Igbo migration actually, maybe we should start with that because I mentioned that in the letter. You know what, let me read the response I sent to Amaka all over again, and then we'll go to what I want to, the response I have. And those up. Light of the world, you stepped down into darkness. Open my eyes. Wait, oh, there is one lion and then there's a corgi that I got today as gifts. Wait, I should clap for everybody that I gave now. What am I even doing? Am I being Komora new? Because I have to. No, let me do it again. Thank you very much for the gift. I mean, one should pause and appreciate folks who actually give one stuff. So thank you very much. I do not take it for granted. And if you notice I'm doing it now, it's not because Mutembelu, it's because of course we are supposed to celebrate it better than that. So thank you. I really appreciate it. So I've been told that you'll be talking more about Kini, but I'm glad I don't even have to say it before people give. So thank you very much for your generosity. All right, let's get back to this video. I'll play it and then I will read what my friend, we're in school together, we're in fellowship together, wonderful child of God, but has no idea how the real life works. So I'm going to play you the video from the guy and then I'll read to you what he had to say. Take a listen to this.
When you meet Yoruba people and you tell them you can't speak Yoruba, they should converse in maybe pidgin or English, they get annoyed and they get so upset. And then they will continue to speak the Yoruba to you, knowing fully well you won't understand what they are saying. And then they will continue to, speak the Yoruba to you, continuously. Because I don't get the essence of communicating with someone if you can't understand what they are saying, the language that they are talking the thing in. And a lot of people have had this experience with Yoruba people. Not all of them, but a good number of them has done this to several people who are not Yoruba people. If you've encountered this, drop it in the comment section. Because I know me, I've encountered this on a few occasions.
It's a journey of people like this. You were born in a part of the world that experiences a lot of scarcity. There are things you wished you had. The opportunities you wished existed back at home. But for some reason, you lack those opportunities. So there's a lot of scarcity back home. You then look around without no one inviting you. You keselese and traveled all the way from your hometown to Yoruba land. You now got to Yoruba land and you have a problem with the fact that Yoruba people are speaking Yoruba language. Because in your own mindset, they have a duty to communicate even if they don't understand your language, but they must speak in a language you understand because you are who? Because you're trying to communicate. What if I don't even want to communicate with you? Why don't people say this thing about Hausa people? If you go to Hausa land, don't they speak Hausa? If you go to France, don't they speak French? If you go to Germany, don't they speak German? You will go to France, right? You will be talking to a French person who clearly understands the English language. Clearly. Could even speak it better than you. So you carry your legs. You traveled all the way to Yoruba land. You now hear people, you hear Yoruba people speaking Yoruba language in their own land. But because you have inferiority complex, you assume that they must do things to please you, even when you have nothing over the people you are talking to. How stupid can you be? When you go to other people's land, it's not incumbent on them to speak a language you understand. It's incumbent on you to learn the language of that place. And that's why we're watching a video the other day where somebody said, yeah, she was born in Lagos, she's an islander, she owned Lagos. These were her own words. They are the ones that own Lagos and own the island, and they are islanders, but they cannot speak Yoruba, and it's been there for more than 50 years. What kind of nonsense is that?
Yes, I'm a Lagosian, and let me not use the word unfortunately, perchance, or let me just say, it's just a stroke of chance that I can't speak Yoruba. But I know I do pick, when they abuse you, for every language, you always learn the abusing, part of it, So I'm born and bred on the island here, raised on the island, as a matter of Musa Yaradua, precisely.
Wow.
Yes, so now we get Lagos. Now we be the original islanders, You
think that's a flex? There's no reason to integrate or to adapt or to be part of those people. You isolate yourself from society, and then you tell society to speak in a language that you understand. Who are you? I say it's not all of them. It's all of us. I do it, and I don't. And you know the funny thing, I don't do it to cut you off. I do it because I assume that you have enough sense to understand. I do it because I assume you have enough sense to understand that since I'm living in my own land, I'll feel comfortable speaking my language, and you should be sensible enough to learn that language, and that way you also become part of what we're doing here.
Well, you won't understand what.
So that's essentially what that video was about. And this was the response from a friend from back in school. I read it earlier, but I'm doing it again because of the response I want to give now. Busui, I am genuinely shocked and disappointed. You should know better because your analysis is way off the point. Somehow, you managed to miss the point. The behavior the speaker described is something I experienced even in OAU or our alma mater. I had the women in faculty offices speak to me in Yoruba, and when I said it politely that I didn't understand, they carried on irrespective, in some cases turning the conversation derogatory about me. I was born in Lagos and understood enough to know but couldn't speak. If you were in that situation, wouldn't you feel triggered? The mindset you espouse, I think that's what she meant to write. The mindset you espouse is archaic. You can't be the one telling people about what's archaic or not. Anyway, the mindset you espouse is archaic and does not align with the expectations of modern decent society. What is the point of communication if the person on the other side cannot understand you? Also, land of scarcity indeed. There's a reason the Nigerian Civil War is not taught in Nigerian schools, but you should probably do your research if you're going to veer off point and speak of things you know little about. You are a learned person, so there's no excuse for this level of undisguised bias and I dare say bigotry. Or is English not the official language of Nigeria anymore? Here's what I wrote in response. I said, Amaka, I am neither shocked nor disappointed by your comment, but it's good to hear from you. I empathize with what you went through in school. The women should have spoken to you in English in order to communicate effectively. That said, you claim that wanting to speak one's native language in one's own land is archaic. What does that say about you, especially since that's been applied uniformly across Nigeria? I suggest you keep that same energy when you visit Sokoto or Anambra. Eventually, people like you must realize that Nigeria is not a single nation, but a country of many nations. Each nation has the right to conduct itself as it sees fit within its own enclave. No one is going to shrink themselves just to make you feel comfortable. We speak English, but we choose when and where to do so. We will not be dictated to by those throwing tantrums because they refuse to assimilate. If you have lived in Lagos for more than 4 decades and still cannot speak Yoruba, who is to blame for that? Furthermore, the scarcity in the southeast had little to do with the Civil War. There's a reason many Igbo leaders were born outside Igbo land. Nnamdi Azikiwe and Chukwuemeka Ojukwu, for instance, were born long before the war. I advise you to study the reasons behind their parents' migrations. Start with Igbo 25 years after the war by Igbokwe and ethnic politics in Nigeria by Okudiba Noli. To understand the specific nature of the scarcity during the war, John de St. George, The Nigerian Civil War is essential reading. As for bias and bigotry, your opinion is yours and it doesn't bother me, because labeling every disagreement as bigotry is more projection than argument. But understand this, if you choose the path of entitlement in a place where respect is expected, that is on you, not on those who expect basic cultural regard. English may be Nigeria's official language, but I did not make a nuisance of myself when people spoke Igbo to me in Onitsha or Hausa in Kaduna. Learn to assimilate. Demanding that people abandon their culture to prove they are not detribalized or to prove that they are detribalized is quite frankly primitive. That was my response to Amaka. But that's not enough, apparently. I'm going to read to you where I got the thing, reasons. And guess what? There's nothing wrong with that. but you don't know. So let me read something to you from, let's start with the book I referenced. Let's start with some of the books. Igbos 25 years after Biafra. Why did people actually move out? Number. So it says here, the extensive investment the Igbos made in Port Harcourt before the Civil War, which were later declared as abandoned property, can be traced to this fact. What fact? Okay, let's go back just a bit. Before the balkanization of the former Eastern region in 1967 into East Central States, Southeastern State, and River State, the Igbos were totally in control of the entire region. This is an Igbo person writing. They had no problem leaving their enclaves to rivers and southeastern states in search of a better life due to the presence of seaports in Port Harcourt and Calabar. The extensive investment the Igbos made in Port Harcourt before the Civil War, which were later declared as abandoned property, can be traced to this fact. The river Niger that passes through Onitsha, Otuocha, Atani, and Oguta was not large or deep enough to have seaports. Therefore, the Igbo enclaves were almost landlocked. Actually, they are landlocked. While people in places like Otuocha, Atani, Oguta, Nam, Abakaliki, and a few others in Igbo land could still boast of earning a living via agriculture, others in Onitsha, Nnewi, Awka, Okigwe had no such opportunity. In fact, Professor Nkenan Zimiro has related the higher rate of migration of certain sections of Igbo to A. Land hunger, particularly around Onitsha, Awka, Okigwe, and Olu. B. A dearth of fertile land, as in Nnewi. C. Rising cost of farming, as in Oguta. Also, the Igbo primitive communalist mode of production. So let's start with that one. Number one, the primary reason people moved out was because of land hunger. The entire Igbo land, in fact, let's not say Igbo land, the entire Southeast, and not all of Southeast is Igbo land. It's important to also highlight this thing. There's Ibibio land in Abia State. There are Ibibio people in Abia State. There are Igala people in Enugu State. There are Igala people, Anambra State as well. Okay, you have the Oring people and the Koring in Ebonyi. So it's not all Igbo land. But the Southeast itself, the one that is Southeast, including Igbo areas, including both Igbo areas and non-Igbo areas, Shada in southeastern region of Nigeria, everything together is about 29,000 square kilometers. That's just about the size of your state. Now, if you think about the millions of people living in that place, you would understand the concept of land hunger. The people writing here are Igbos, and this is not about, it's not an insult. Just to be clear, it's not an insult, it's just stating why people migrated. All this, we developed Lagos, we developed Kaduna, we developed Meduguri, and now we got the whole place is nonsense. I'll add that video when I put this thing out. We developed this, we developed that. It didn't develop nothing. The point is, you moved out not to develop other places, but because there was primarily land hunger. The people were too many for the land. If you read the Willings Commission report of 1958, one of the lines you find it, and I think I should read it now that I mentioned it, one of the lines you find in that comment, in that report, is that the people were too many for the land to support. Now, why is that important? Because it gives you an idea. So when I said that there was scarcity back at home, and she's saying, what do you mean scarcity? The war, it has nothing to do with the Civil War. This is not about, oh, there was a Civil War and that's the reason, there was scarcity. This has nothing to do with the Civil War. Give me a second, I'll find it for you very quickly. Okay, listen to this. This is the Willings Commission report. This was 1957 to 58. That was when they had the Commission of Inquiry. And 57 to 58, that was when they had the Commission of Inquiry. And then in 58, they published the report. It says more than 98% of people who inhabit this area, the Igbo plateau of the eastern region, are Igbo and speak one language, though of course with certain differences of dialect. There are nearly 5 million of them, and there are too many for the soil to support. Their vigorous and intelligent and have pushed outward in every direction, seeking a livelihood by trade or in service in the surrounding areas of the eastern region, in the western region, in the north and outside Nigeria. They moved out because there are too many for the soil to support. So they sought a livelihood by trade or in service. That's why they moved out, because the land was too small. Mzemiro is saying here that there is land hunger. So there are three main issues, by the way. Number one is that there is land hunger, particularly around Onitsha, Oka, Okigwe, Olu, and many places. Number two, a dearth of fertile land, as in Nnewi. Number three, a rising cost of farming, as in Oguta. So number one is the fact that you don't have a lot of, you don't have a lot of land to even start with. Of what you have, is not everything that is fertile. Okay? So that's like double wala. Also, the Igbo primitive communalist mode of production under patriarchal domination was accompanied by a low level of production, under development of productive forces, and the increasing pauperization of the younger sons. And since production was based on the cultivation of land, low production and pauperization were worst in the areas of poor soil. Here, the rate of migration was highest. Igbo land is, of course, one of the most densely populated areas of. I'll read it later. On the continent, I think, apart from another place, Igbo is one of the most densely populated places on the continent of Africa. And in Nigeria is the most densely populated part of the country. I mean, think about the heads. If you have millions of people living in 29,000 square kilometers, that's a lot of people for very little land. There's something I'm going to read. Somebody just insulted me in the comment section. Let me send the person home very quickly. Mumbo, don't worry, we're all together. It's just that it's important to answer people's questions sometimes. I'm going to read something to you. What's your name? Octavian. I'm going to read something to you from Marjorie Parham. She wrote this one in 1960. This should help you, and you can go and ask your parents for full details. This was in the Listener of 20th October 1960, and this is what she wrote about you guys. Beneath this difficult restraint, regional differences are great. I believe that the Igbo are the main force for unity. That's good, Abi. Not really. It says they need unity. In other words, you need unity. You see all that thing you say about Nigeria, let us unite. It's not that you like Nigeria, you need unity. And since, you know what, we're coming back to this book. I don't like people just throwing jabs like that. You will hear what you need to hear, and God will be glorified. Remember, I'll read it, but I want to pick another book. Just joke away, JJ. You now come and say something that, we have to respond to, but it is well. When we now respond, you now be crying, be a baby. Give me a second. I want to open another book because we are going to answer these questions. I wish you're just asking questions, so why not if not? Good. So let's start with Majiparam stuff, then we'll read something from Anthony Nauro. Thank you, Bumblebee. Welcome, sir. Beneath this difficult restraint, this is Majiparam, 20th October 1960. Beneath this difficult restraint, regional differences are great. I believe that the Igbo are the main force for unity. They need unity. As the poorest region, I didn't say that. This was published in the Listener of 20th October 1960. As the poorest region, though perhaps the recent strike of mineral oil will change that, even though the mineral oil was actually in the Rivers area, not in the Igbo area, which was one of the reasons that they went to war and killed people in Rivers area. Rivers, present the Rivers State and Bayelsa State. She said, as the poorest region, though perhaps the recent strike of mineral oil will change that, they have had to pour out of the overcrowded forests to seek work all over the other regions. They have had to pour out of the overcrowded forest. Again, this is not an insult, it's just observation. They have had to pour out of the overcrowded forest to seek work all over the other regions. Again, having no great history, no impressive chiefs or cities, they need to find their pride, their fulfillment in Nigeria itself. Able, individualistic, hardworking, democratic, they could be the unifying leaven. And Dr. Azikiwe could probably express as Governor General not only the independence but also the unity for which he has worked so long. So the idea basically is that the Nigeria you talk about is an opportunity to actually experience for the first time what a structured space looks like. And that's why people poured out into different parts of Nigeria. It wasn't to bless the people, it was to take advantage of what they had in their homes. And that's why what happened in the north happened. Sorry. That's what happened. It was more like going to places and taking advantage of what they had there. And you know what? Most people would not even mind having you around until you begin to tell them that they are stupid for having you around because you are their boss. Which was what happened in May, between January and May of 1966. We've had sessions on that before. So that's one. Octavian, there's another one I'm going to read to you so that it will help us understand this thing very well. Then I'll go back to the book we started with. I'm going to read something to you from Anthony Naro's speech at Addis Ababa, 12th August 1968. He said here, there is a lot of stuff, by the way. And by the way, Margie Parham also mentioned the fact that there was no great history, no impressive chiefs or cities. Therefore, they need to find their pride, their fulfillment in Nigeria itself. And it was also the poorest region. So when I said in that response to Amaka that, when I said in that video that somebody came from a place where there was scarcity, I wasn't throwing jabs. It's historically factual. Let's go to Anthony Naro. Switch. All right, where was I? It says captured documents now confirm that the intention of the former Eastern authorities was to conquer the former Midwestern and Western regions, and then in a later phase subdue the former Northern region. This was not surprising. Igbos need to work and trade over the whole of Nigeria, which they have always known in this century as their country. They need to work and trade. The book is called Crisis and Conflict in Nigeria by A.H.M. Kirk Green, Volume 2. Somebody asked the name of that's a book. They need to. So the idea of Nigeria is from a place of need. It's not based on altruism. And that's why your relationship with Nigeria is also based on need for the most part. And there's nothing wrong. See, people move out every time. We also travel to London or to UK and everywhere. There's nothing wrong with that. What you should not do is move around and tell the owners of the land how they should move. Meanwhile, you left home because there was scarcity back at home. And I didn't say that to throw jabs. I was saying that to tell you exactly what's happening and why you are here. Having said that, let's go back to the book by Igbokwe. So he mentioned three things from Professor Nzemiro. Number one was land hunger. Number two was the dearth of fertile land. Number three was rising costs of farming. And then he talked about the pauperization of the younger sons. And the reason, of course, is because if there's land, the land goes to the eldest son, which means that the younger ones have no land to farm. And even the one who has land, the land is not as if it's fertile like that. But it means that you now have what is called here increasing pauperization of the younger sons. And since production was based on the cultivation of land, low production and pauperization were worst in the areas of poor soil. Here, the rate of migration was highest. Igbo land is, of course, one of the most densely populated areas of the world. In some places, the density is more than 1,000 persons to a square mile. Is comparatively. They could not, but they had to. It's not about the war. that's I mentioned in the response to Amaka that Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was not born because after the war. He was born in 1904. He was born in Zungeru. Well done. Ojukwu was born in the 1930s. He was born in Zungeru. Many of your leaders were born outside. And it's not even about them. Think about their own parents. Why did their own parents move out of Igbo land? Because of this thing. Well, there are still more reasons. But let's start from the economic aspect. There was land hunger, there was death of fertile land, and there was increasing population of the young sons because there was also rising cost of farming. Now, he says with all of these things, and the place was small, they had to move. A large number of Igbos could not but migrate. For example, Okutiba Noli posites that in 1952, about 99,000 Igbo residents lived in the 11 main urban areas of the North, West, Midwest, and Lagos. Excuse me. They constituted 8% of the total urban population of these areas of 1.2 million and 51% of the non-indigenous population. In Lagos, Benin, Kano, and Kaduna, they constituted over 30% of the non-indigenous residents. Therefore, unlike the more materially developed Hausa and Yoruba linguistic people, the Igbos were more compelled to move. By the way, I'd like to repeat this caveat. This is not about throwing changes imposed on them by the tenure system consisted the bulk of the migrants. In other words, if a man passes, the elder son gets the land, right? For the most part, on the house. It still happens in their culture. The younger ones have nothing to fall back on, so they had to move. And when they moved, it wasn't like they were going to do business, they were trading. Trading is not business. There are three things, there are three words. I'm not going to go deep into it, but just mention it in passing. You can do your own research. There are three words that I think we assume mean the same thing, but they mean different things. Commerce, trade, and business. They are not the same. All these they are wonderful traders. To trade is, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's not like one is less, or actually one is less. Let's not joke with ourselves. But I'm not saying that, some people are inferior. That's not the point. It's just that when we sometimes overestimate people and be using words without understanding it also gives people some very funny idea. As though if you get to Balogun market, you will not see Yoruba people doing anything. Or before you came, nobody was doing anything. Or without you, we can't trade. What are you talking about? We're not about Oshomalo or Ijebu. What do you think caused the 1892 Imagbon War? What was trade among Yoruba people before the British got involved? So all this idea of some people do business, we are happy that we have everybody doing, selling and buying and everything. That's okay. But let's not mix things up. Trade is not commerce and it is not business. Trade is not commerce and it is not business. They are different because of the disadvantages imposed on them by the tenure system constituted the bulk of the migrants. Similarly, the secular and sacred slaves, Oru and Osu, respectively, also migrated in large numbers. They consisted the most exploited and downtrodden of Igbo societies and were without social, economic, or political rights. In fact, colonial activity, although itself generally degrading and dehumanizing, offered them the opportunity to escape the inhuman conditions under which they lived. One was about economy, the other one was about sociology. In society, if you are Oru or Osu, you are like that forever. Generational, you can't change it. And by the way, those who go around to say it's a lie, you're lying to us, just tell them that may you or you as your, what's it called now? As far as your caste in society is concerned, and it's a caste system. That's the only place in Nigeria where they have caste system. And there's a reason for that. And it has something to do with their own history as a people, which we're not going to get into today because I don't want to get into many things. But the point is that There was an economic reason. I mean, for the most part, you have economic reason, and then you have the sociological reason. Economic reason is that there's no land, and then even the one that is available cannot go around, so you have to move out in order to survive. You are out here to survive, and guess what? We don't mind. We welcome you. Ojulon Rojushano, you are welcome. But don't turn around and tell me that you're doing me something good. I developed, you developed nothing. Number two, you also moved out because of sociological realities back at home. A lot of people were either Orus or Osus, and a lot of them are in Yoruba land today, speaking English, telling Yoruba people how to do stuff at home. They know that you are permanently on generationally, which is sad. Your children's blood are like, I mean, and it's a sad concept. It's like this unclean thing that you cannot even touch. You cannot, if you are Diala, you don't marry, because if you marry, you become unclean. You don't become, the unclean does not become clean by marrying the Diala. The clean becomes unclean by marrying Osu. Such people come into Yoruba land, and they'll be the ones to be back home. They can't talk. So what does Osu mean? I just read it to you. I'm going to read the book. I won't say it, because if I say it, it'll be like something else. The secular and sacred slaves. Oru is secular slaves. Osu is sacred slave. That's what the book is called. Igbos 25 years after Biafra. They're outcasts. They're outcasts. They are slaves. And so they had an opportunity to move out. And when they moved out, they're able to trade and live amongst, people and do well. And then suddenly something just entered their head and said, oh, I can demand stuff in Yoruba land. What are you talking about? You can't put demand stuff at home. They'll remind you. You can't even speak. What am I saying? You can't even speak. Let me read something more. This is actually quite funny, because I wouldn't expect this to be the reality, but it's funny. Abakaliki and Anam people, those are the ones that they look down on. Those ones fiercely resisted migration because they were blessed with fertile land. And this resulted in high productivity of agricultural products. For this, they were able to maintain a high level of subsistence existence, similar to that obtained during the pre-colonial times. They were able to generate agricultural surpluses, which provided them with necessary funds for paying taxes and buying some of the colonial goods and services which they wanted. Under these circumstances, there was no serious pressure to migrate. And then I asked the question, if Abakaliki, that's the bulk of Ebonyi people, the Ebonyi area, if they have land, and they do have land, by the way, but it's for subsistence farming. If they have all of that, why then are they classified as the lowest type of Igbos? And I'm not the one that said it too. I read it here the other day. Somebody said, and when I'm putting out this video, I'll put the picture there so you know that I'm not making anything up. Somebody was doing the classification of Igbo people. I said one is the highest form is Imo State. Then there's Anambra. Then there's Abia. There's Enugu. Or Abia before Anambra, or Enugu, and then there's Ebonyi. The other one came and said, no, it's not true. It's Anambra first. Then Abia, then Imo, then Enugu. Ebonyi is always last. I don't know why. They are the ones who didn't even used to travel that much because the land was at least fertile for subsistence agriculture. So, I hope number one, we've established that reason. You moved out because you needed it. Now, in that stuff, I also mentioned scarcity. Now, from what you've read right now, you can understand why there was scarcity. You don't have a lot of land. You don't have a lot of fertile land. So, of the land that even exists, much of it is not fertile. Or at least the one way even they, let me not say much of it, may not be like say, but not everything is fertile, right? So you can't plant a lot of stuff, and that means that there will be scarcity. By the way, that was one of the major reasons that affected Igbo people during the Civil War. There was food within Igbo land. Much of the food that they were eating came from land. The meat they ate came from Ogoja province towards the north. That's in Cross River area. The fish was from the rivers area. You know what? May not be like I said, they may come up. I'm going to read some to you from the Nigerian Civil War by John de St. John. Again, nobody's weaponizing history, but I think that we don't know our neighbors in Nigeria, and that's the reason people just talk anyhow. And we're demanding rubbish. Just come here. Why are you speaking Yoruba language? Are you dumb? What do you mean? Why am I speaking Yoruba land? Yoruba language in Yoruba land? Did I invite you? I'm not saying you should not come. I'm actually glad you are here. Because I need to be adding that one. May not be like I say, I'm glad you're here. But you've got to know that there's something called boundaries. Enjoy your time, have fun, do well, prosper, thrive, build mansion. But don't go around telling me what to do in my land. Things that you cannot do back at home. Some people are outcasts at home. Let me read something to you from this book, The Nigerian Civil War by John de St. John. It says here, starvation, malnutrition, and infant mortality have always had a high incidence throughout Nigeria. The last rising to a phenomenal 50% in some places. But even before the war, listen very closely. It says, but even before the war, so I'll tell it again, but even before the war began, the situation was deteriorating in the Igbo areas of the east. Not all areas of the east, to be clear. Even before the war began, the situation was deteriorating in the Igbo areas of the east, by far the most densely populated part of the country. Only Rwanda, Burundi, and then it relied traditionally and heavily on imported food, especially high protein foods. These imports were paid for by the export of palm oil kernels and by the remittances sent home from Igbos working outside the east. I'll pause to explain something very quickly. I may have to read another book to explain this one. Why do I read these things? Because I don't want anybody saying that I'm making anything up. Good, found it. The place, densely populated. Before the war, they had to import food. So it's answering the question, how did they get the money to import food? Two sources. Number one, they used money from palm oil and palm kernel that has been exported, that they exported. The money they realized from that, they used it to buy food. But the question you should be asking yourself is that the bulk of the palm kernel and palm oil, where did it come from? Was there palm oil from Igbo land? Yes. Was that the bulk of the palm oil that the East had at the time? No. From crisis and conflict in Nigeria. In the former eastern region of Nigeria, the Igbos numbered about 7 million and the Efiks, Ibibios, Ekois, and Ijos about 5 million. Half of the land area of the region belonged to these 5 million so-called minorities. The minority areas produced about 16 million pounds out of 25 million pounds of annual agricultural exports from the East before the outbreak of hostilities. That's 64%. Much of the money that they realized through agriculture came from the minority areas. Why? Because they had fertile soil. It's not rocket science. They had fertile soil. So the money the government realized, part of that money they'll use to buy stuff, buy food, particularly protein food, for their own people. The second way they got money was through remittances. So, those people who spread abroad because of scarcity or, there's no land, there's no opportunity at home, they moved out. Well, one second. So I was saying, the people who had to move out because there was scarcity, there was no land at home, there was land hunger, there was no opportunities, they had to move out. Well, it turns out that their moving out turned out to be a blessing, because now they could send money back home, and that money could be used, in taking care of things at home, right, in buying stuff. So they had remittances before remittances became a thing. They could send money back home, which is why you understand why people suffered during the war. Ojukwu told people to leave where they were getting the money that they were sending back home, and they should all return home, which means that money, that supply was cut off. Let the minorities go with the East, because the East was actually forcing them into something they did not plan to be part of. That's why if you were here when we're discussing what happened with the Eastern Consultative Assembly, you understand how Igbos did what they did to get the minorities to be part of them. So they were the ones who had the food and the meat. In fact, let me read it to you so it doesn't look like stuff. Let me just go back to the Nigerian Civil War by John de St. John. It says here, by far the most densely populated part of the country, that's the Igbo areas of the East, only Rwanda, Burundi, and the Nile Valley match it in Africa. It relies traditionally and heavily on imported food, especially high-protein foods. These imports were paid for by the export of palm oil and kernels and by the remittances sent home from Igbos working outside the East. Even then, the level of feeding and protein intake was dangerously low. The troubles of 1966, which created 1.5 million refugees in the East, cut off the valuable remittances and destroyed the precarious balance. The outbreak of fighting eliminated further sources, the outbreak of fighting eliminated further sources of protein, notably the cattle grazing districts of northeast Biafra. Northeast means that the northeastern part of the eastern region. That's the Cross River area. By the way, you can easily get to the north through that area. If you've been to Obudu, lost in the clouds, beautiful place. Anyway, the outbreak of fighting eliminated further sources of protein, notably the cattle raising districts of northeast Biafra. Much of the fish from the riverine areas and the vital imports of Norwegian stockfish. By the way, Okporoko became popular because of the war. It's from Norway. First, they gave it to Nigeria as a gift, or to Biafrans as a gift. Then it became something that they now have to import. It's now part of the cuisine. By the end of 1961, the situation had reached crisis proportions, and the churches in Biafra made their first public appeal for help. The basic needs were in order of priority: protein-rich foods, medicines, and later bulk foods. The overall problem was starvation, but it was a twin barbed killer. Even its names, marasmus and kwashiorkor, have a deadly ring. Marasmus produces the living skeleton featured so often in atrocity and fundraising pictures. Caused by not having enough to eat, the body simply wastes away, producing a terrifying appearance, but in fact allowing its victims a much better expectation of life than kwashiorkor. This is extreme protein deficiency, which leads to the body cannibalizing itself. The symptoms became one of the most familiar sights of the war. Tiny children with the worst heat, with their soft, fluffy ginger hair, like miniature coat hangers, and ribs that stood out in delicate relief. From the breastbone downwards, an obscene contrast began. Swollen bellies and overblown legs and ankles where the flesh had started to peel off like the skin of a tomato fresh from boiling water. The Biafrans never short of a propaganda phrase. They really understood journalists' needs. They call this terrible phenomenon Gowon's boots. Protein, not medicine, was a cure for kwashiorkor. Caught in time, it could be quickly and dramatically reversed. Left too long, it either killed or maimed through brain damage for life. The great majority of civilian death on both sides of the fighting came from Kwashoko. It's a very sad story. And that's why I'm very careful how I talk about these things. But I think we should talk about these things. All of that was to explain the note I wrote to Amaka. So the scarcity was not about the war. The scarcity predated the war. It was exacerbated during that war and crisis because the leaders, so-called leaders, were not strategic. And Ojukwu even mentioned it in his interview in 1970 with Frederick Forsyth. I read it here before. He had no plan. He had no real plans for food. I have not heard of that kind of thing in my life. You want to go to war. The world is telling you don't fight. Oh, don't fight. America, England, Britain, Nigeria, the Midwest, even the Western region. I will travel to tell you, excuse me. Everybody begged you. 1 second, please. Please give me a second, please. This is very important so that this light doesn't go off. I'll be back in a bit. Sorry about. Sorry about that. Apparently the noise. I thought I muted though. Can you imagine? I don't know if the fuel is burning faster, or I don't even understand because it's more expensive and it's. What's it called, Tommy? But it is well. It's the reality of doing business in Nigeria. You have to be on gen. But hopefully we're going to be able to upgrade very soon, so we'll use less fuel. Where was I? By the way, we're going to be good. Hopefully it comes back before the inverter goes off. But I was saying something. What was I? I don't know where I stopped, but let me just continue for where. Awo, the British High Commissioner, American Ambassador, different people, even Awo, 1967, had a meeting with Ojukwu. We have the transcript of the meeting. It's in a book called Awo and the Nigerian Civil War. Fantastic book. You read everything they said. The guy was telling Ojukwu, he was telling Awo, you find this one in Crisis and Conflict in Nigeria by A.H.M. Green. Ojukwu was telling Awo that they had built the strongest and largest army in Black Africa. They're telling you not to fight. You say you have a better army. Meanwhile, all the army no get up to they didn't have more than 1 dozen guns. Though. So all of that to say that the plans weren't concrete enough, right, for the people. And if you're going to blame anybody for that, you can't make a hero out of the person who was not strategic and got your people killed, and then make villains out of the rest of us and expect us to be apologizing for what your own person did to you. What kind of nonsense is that? But we have to do that because we are all one Nigeria. That's rubbish. Someone says, what did they use all the money collected for? He used to buy guns. So he later used the 500,000. So the federal government gave him 500,000 pounds. Eventually used to buy guns. But timelines. The meeting was May 6 and 7. He declared Biafra May 30th of May. That was when he declared Biafra. Then began to buy guns. But even the guns were not enough. And that's why when you read Tragedy Without Heroes, when he sent people to go fight at the Nsukka sector, he was giving them sticks, and some of them had Dane guns. Then he had a Dibia who went to be shouting Afanauzo. Go on, Afanauzo. One day I read that book, but not today. All right. Lastly, before we go, the thing about, so back to the old thing, we got into all of this because of language, right? Don't speak Yoruba because make us comfortable. Well, that had to do with an experience these guys had in the southeast. You see, because there was land hunger and there was, not much fertile land, and also you have the sociological issues with the Osu and the Oru, who had to move the outcasts, the slaves, who had to move into Yoruba land. And to be honest, I think a lot of them who had to move around like that. Many of them moved into some spaces and they became more than the original owners of the land, to the point where the owners of the land began to learn their own language. And that happened mostly in the rivers area. Read the book Sunset in Biafra by Elechi Amadi, you'll find this experience. If you also listen, there's an interview with Dr. I think it's Uche, it's not Uche Chuku or something. I'll find you that video. There's an interview. If we have time, we'll probably listen to it. I think it's Dika Chuku. Give me a second. So I think we played it here before, where the man was I was talking about how they got amongst them in Ikwere land and how the language became, essentially lingua franca for a while. And that's why I found the video. And that's why you see a lot of them trying to reclaim that. But let's read this way. I'm going to read something from Elechi Amadi's book. Then we'll listen to, let me find you his name. The name is close. Okachiku. It's not Chuku. Okachiku Dibia. Dr. Okachiku Dibia. I'll play you that later. But let me read something to you from Elechi Amadi. Oh dear. I hope this guy gets back before this thing goes off. All right, let's read here. 1973. Why is that important? Because he mentioned the date they began to move into their area. Some 30 years ago, that's in the 1940s. Excuse me. Some 30 years ago, the Igbos began to move in to trade in the riverine areas. Eventually, many settled and by sheer force of numbers began to dominate the smaller tribes. Igbo came to be so widely used that certain tribes practically lost their mother tongue. It is a fact that one or two riverine areas can hardly speak their own language now and have to make do with a peculiar Igbo pidgin, highly amusing to the Igbos. A determined effort is now being made to remedy the situation. In some areas, this cultural imposition was very pronounced. Igbo was officially taught and spoken in schools. It could hardly be otherwise, since most of the teachers were Igbos. Gradually, many local languages were eroded. As the Bible had not been translated into minority languages, the Igbo Bible and prayer books were used in schools and churches. The question may now be asked, is there anything wrong with linguistic and cultural integration? My answer is nothing. The fewer languages there are in the world, the better. In fact, the ideal would be to have one universal language. However, Cultural domination in Nigeria also implied political and economic domination. The smaller tribes were not aware of this fact until the 50s, when party tribal government became established. Jobs, contracts, scholarships, and other privileges were awarded on a tribal basis. The bigger minority tribes like the Efiks, Ibibios, and Thieves reacted by fighting to get a few of their men into key positions. These men took care of the rest as best they could. The people of Western Cameroon broke away under intertribal pressure to rejoin their relations on the other side of the border. For the smaller tribes, it was a nightmare. To get a good job, one had to pretend that one belonged to the big tribe, having of course learned the language as thoroughly as one could. Even so, at critical moments in one's career, such as on the eve of a really big promotion, detailed inquiries were made into tribal origins. The result of such inquiries sometimes determined one's fate, especially if the chief executive of the ministry or department was narrow-minded. The trend was the same all over the country. So why do people have to speak in it? Because they were many. So because the guests were more than the owners of the land. But that's in Port Harcourt, that's in the Rivers area, not in Yoruba land. That's what they're trying to also do to Yoruba land. By the way, that's when you start noticing that people start spelling Pomo with KP. There's no KP in Yoruba orthography. We don't have P is P and it's the P in English. We don't have KP. Pomo, Jakpa. There's no KP, it's JAPA. GAPA. Or Boli. It says Bole. I mean, if they want to pronounce it as Bole, that's fine. You know, that's okay. But it's still Boli. I remember my brother was saying that they were going to eat Bole. I said, no, it's Boli. If you are here, it's Boli. Alright, I'm going to play you something from Dr. Okachukwu Dibia while I get this thing sorted.
The people of Ikure come from. That is not acceptable. Logic.
The conversation as to whether or not Ikure is Igbo has been a controversial one, and it doesn't align well with the Igbo community. So today, we have the privilege of sitting with an Ikure son who is of the opinion that Ikure is not Igbo. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Okapis and I'm standing in for Ikure TV. Welcome, Mr. Okachukwu Dibia. So please introduce yourself to the audience.
Thank you, Ikure TV, to have me here. I am Dr. Okachukwu Dibia. I'm from Rumakun, Demoha local government area of Rivers State. I've been interested in this issue for a long time. Today, I would like to express myself properly on it. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so there was an interview by a Nollywood actor who is also a lawyer, and the person of Kenneth Okonkwo, where he mentioned something about Aso Kawabara and Simfubara, that they have the right to decide whether or not Ikure is Igbo. What do you have to say about that?
Streamers, if you are only going live
about that. Basically, you and I know that it is not up to a human being to determine where a group of people comes from. Okay. It is for those people to say who they are and where they come from. No one else says that. It is suspicious for somebody to say, Mr. A should say where the people of Ikore come from? That is not acceptable, logically and reasonably. So it's null and void. They don't have that authority, they don't have that right. Okay. That's what they call cultural assimilation or cultural osmosis. You and I are not English people.
Okay.
But we are using English language to communicate.
Okay.
Does that make us English? No.
Yeah.
So the question you should ask is, how come that you and I, who are Nigerians, are using English language to communicate? A simple analogy. Now let me take you back. In my place, Emoha, when I grew up in Emoha, I grew up in Emoha, and I know that Igbos who live amongst us never will say we are Igbo people.
Okay.
Never. They live among us either through slavery, through marriage, or through coming to do menial works in my place. So we interact. Most of our people married Igbo women.
Okay.
Who took time to teach their children Igbo language. They will never teach Ikore language. So obviously that child grows up with Igbo language. Recall also that during the Eastern region, Igbo was the language that was compulsory mandatory here to be taught in primary school. In my place, there's a story that goes this way, that a man takes his son to school for registration. The headmaster says, what is the child's name? My child's name is Ovunda. What's Ovunda? The headmaster is an Igbo man. What is Ovunda? That's his name. No, I don't know. I don't understand what is the meaning of Ovunda. Ovunda means the heart of the father. The headmaster quickly put the name as Obinna. Automatically. You can see the movement from Ovunda to Obinna. You can imagine what will be happening in other Ikore villages like that, where the Igbo is at the helm of affairs. They are in charge of the churches, they are in charge of the schools. And this they did throughout the Ikore land. The typical Igbo person, if you're relating with an Igbo person, will not speak your language, will not like to speak your language. We speak his or our own language to you. You must speak his language. And this happens in the marketplace. And Igbos are all over our markets. So the Ikore people are subjected to either directly or indirectly learning Igbo language every day, from the family level to the community level. Now, you made mention of Wike. Can you ask him what's the meaning of Wike in Ikore? In the interview Wike had before this time, Wike said, my name is Wike, and the meaning of Wike is what? Little born baby. Nobody wants to take that. But you want to impose on him Wike. So I asked the lawyer, what's the meaning of Wike and what's the meaning of Wike?
The complexity of this thing, that's what happened in the South. That's what's happening in the South. People tell you not to speak your own language and you must speak English. Back in the South, particularly in River State, speaking their own language, right, refusing to speak the languages of those people, which is why it's a flex. I've been in Lagos for so many decades, but I don't speak Yoruba language. But you've got to make me comfortable. If you were a smaller group, we're going to force our own language on you. If you're a bigger group, we're going to guilt trip you and gaslight you into speaking English language and jettisoning you what's yours, because you have to make us feel comfortable. Well, the world does not revolve around Igbo people. The world does not care about your comfort as long as you don't care about other people's comfort and other people's right to live in their own homeland. And what you should be showing is gratitude and respect, not to keep demanding as though you are entitled to anything in the name of one Nigeria. That's not going to work. And what will not work in the North particularly should not be something that you're going to bring to Yoruba land and say you guys should stop speaking your language because I want you to make me feel comfortable. That will not happen. All right. So I just thought it was important to mention these things and to also explain why I said what I said to the lady. Hope she sees this video and if she gets angry again, I hope she asks questions and I'll respond. These things are not done because of bigotry. And by the way, it's low thinking, right? For you to attribute everything to bigotry. Like, you can't argue beyond that you're a bigot, you're a tribalist. That's a very low level thinking kind of thing. Like, you've got to be able to counter what the person is saying. This is not based on hate or bigotry, but we know stuff, okay? And again, everybody is welcome in Yoruba land. Nobody is saying, oh, get out, back home. I don't think that's necessary. We are all Nigerians. But we're not all from the same nation. Nigeria is not a nation. It's a country of many things within their own enclave. If you have a problem with that, don't go there. You don't go to Kano and tell them that they are speaking Hausa. Some of these clowns never say these things in the north. This familiarity breeding contempt is what has to stop. And I hope people actually have enough sense to understand it. Thank you very much for listening to that. And it's been a very lovely evening hanging out with you guys. Thank you very much for being here. And thanks for celebrating me earlier. Thanks for all the gifts. And thank you for your generosity. May God bless you. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to call it a day today. We'll be here tomorrow. On Monday. Today is Friday, so we're not coming tomorrow. We usually have these sessions every weekday. Thank you for the gift, Ruby West. Thank you very much. We have these sessions, and welcome, Miss Joan. Good to see you. Thank you for the rose, Baba of TikTok. I'm going to read some of your comments in a bit, but we have these sessions every weekday, Mondays to Fridays, 4 p.m. Ife time, West African time. So please join us on Monday, and we'll have a great time together. I'll read some of the comments. Someone says here, this is Old Ever Africa. The government has to take a very concrete step to counter the fake drinks and products that these people are making. Yes, they need to, and we have to leverage tech at this point. This is when you meet someone like Professor Dora Quili. She was good, and they came for her. They almost killed her. Assassination attempts, all kinds of things. And by the way, it's people like that make you also. Apart from the fact that we are Omoluabi and we are Christians, people like Dora Quinley also help you understand the fact that at least there is good in everyone. Because I respect and love Professor Dora Quinley for who she was and all the things she did. Fantastic woman, and I hope that NAFDAC actually builds on her legacy and they do better than all of these things. People are sick already. To now get sicker and die off of fake drugs. And this person that is selling fake drugs is one that is lecturing you about how your health system should be working in Nigeria. Is that not interesting? All right, New Era on TikTok says the national government did not do enough to protect the smaller tribes in their territories. Yeah, now they are protecting themselves. New Era also says it was because of mass hunger that Bishop Ajayi Crowther introduced Gari and cassava to Igbo land. Gari has become a smash hit and a superstar in the land ever since. The statement you made is actually historically correct, and you'll find, if you read the book, a charge delivered on the banks of River Niger by Servant Ajayi Crowther, published in 1866. He mentioned that they introduced cassava, introduced a better way to cultivate yam. They also introduced corn as an agbado to the Igbos, right? Oh, don't be grateful. Just understand boundaries. But if you're really smart, you should be grateful. But no, you still come and insult everybody. Lagos says Northerners have treated the F-pop 3 times. That's why they will not try that in the North. You're not 45 in 53 in 66, and people have never forgotten. I hope something like that doesn't have to happen in Yoruba land. I really pray it doesn't, because Why should people have to experience that before they think? It's a shame. We're going to have to call it a day now. Thank you very much for coming out and for being part of today's session. We're going to... So we started this Benin thing on, was it Monday or Wednesday? Maybe we'll continue it on Monday. Or let me ask you before we go, do you want to continue? Do you want to have matters arising on Wednesday? Or Monday rather, next Monday? Do you want to continue with the Benin thing? By the way, the videos are up now on YouTube, so you can go watch it. We'll still have things go. Maybe on Monday we'll go back to it. We still have, so there's some topics we still have to cover. Benin and Yoruba connection, Awot's trial, evolution of Christianity in Yoruba land, evolution of Islam in Yoruba land. I still have some things to discuss about the war and the coup, the 1966 January coup, through the perspective of the British. We have a number of things to learn, and I hope we're going to have a great time together. Someone says Benin and Yoruba connection. Okay, fine. We'll continue that on Monday. Let's have the Nigerian anthem and also the Yoruba anthem that we'll call it today. By the way, love to all. Now, we know malice to anybody. We're all good people, great nation, but there's something called boundaries. You mess up with that, you get what's coming for you. Like, and for me, it's just an earful. From others, once again, when little law, they might just do more than that. And I hope people begin to learn, especially with elections coming soon. All this, we own Lagos, we own the place. Who is the king? Where is their father? Who destroyed them? Oh boy. Everybody's like using their brains now. May God bless everybody. All right, here's the Nigerian national anthem. Take a listen, enjoy, and sing along.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all are proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace all battle honored, and this we count as gain. To hand to our children a banner without name. Oh God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed. And so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. Nigeria may be Iṣẹ́ wa fúnlẹ̀ wá, fún ilẹ̀-èdè wa. Tàgbéga, tàgbéga, tàgbéga fáyé rí. Ìgbàgbọ́ wa ni pé bá ti bẹ̀rù làbọ̀ mọ́. Àṣìṣe, àṣìṣe, àṣìṣe.
Àwa ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ogun adúláwọ̀, ìmọ́lẹ̀ wo ni wọ́kùn lágbára Ọlọ́run. Lẹ́yìn bó ní bàjẹ́, Nàìjíríà náà ní bàjẹ́. Nǹkan tá bá dáwọ́lé àmọ́ yọrí sí rere ní ilé wa, ọ̀nà wa kò ní bàjẹ́ lágbára Ọlọ́run. Thank you very much for being part of today's session. I hope you had a great time. And again, love to all, malice to none, but everybody should give themselves prayer. Give yourself prayer. And that way we can build a nation, and we can build a country that works by every joint supplying whatever it is that they have, not people going from one place to another shouting, "One Nigeria, I can't do anything I like." It's not going to work. But Nigeria will work, and we're going to get better. Thank you for being part of today's session. I'll see you on Monday, 4 p.m. Ife time, West African time. Have a great weekend. God bless you. Odaro. And thank you very much for your support. Thank you for your generosity. All those who gave gifts today, I really appreciate you. Every gift, every coin, every lion, and every kitten, and every cat, and every money gone, whatever, all the gifts. Thank you. Thank you for generosity. Thank you for celebrating me. Thank you very, very much. May God bless you and increase you on all sides. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Odaro.